Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We have the wizard and the voice by the camera back soon, and the amazing, wonderful, lovely Heba in the studio.
Yeah.
AKA Hebz as well, yeah.
AKA Mama Hebz.
Mama Hebz.
Yeah.
Cool.
Celebrate
cool,
you guys.
Yeah. Let's bang it out first and foremost straight away, because Hebz has her own platform.
I do.
And this is where I saw Hebz first. We're going to digress into that afterwards. But please, what's your platform? What do you do on your platform?
So I do a podcast that I've been doing for my third season right now. Yeah. It's called Growing Up British, as y'all see on the T. So the reason why it's called Growing Up British is because if you're not white, you're not really British. You're only part-time when they want you to be. Yeah. So as much as you want to, identify being British, there's little subtle reminders that you ain't British. Yeah,
that's a lot.
So that's my podcast. It's about basically going from childhood to adult life to parenthood. So when you're raised in one culture and faith in your house and dealing with a culture outside, i.e. the British culture, how you navigate through life. So what does love look like growing up, like based on your culture and your faith? What did you learn about it? How did that shape you into an adult? And what would you change and unlearn when it comes to like redefining your adult life and your parenthood? So it's just going through a journey of different topics. So it's kind of, it's reflexive.
Very, very interesting.
Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah. You can go and like, subscribe, comment on the show. It's called Growing Up British. Ish. Right, let me, because this one, I'm going to get my pen out for this one. So I can,
this looks very serious. Pen and paper, you know.
I've always got pen and paper, but I don't know you. There might be things you say that I want to catch and then go back to.
Let me just car part this comment real quick and come back to it.
Yeah.
You're good, man. You're good.
All right. Heba.
Yes, sir. I've never heard one call me Heba on a podcast. It's always Hebz.
Really?
Yeah, or Mama Hebz, yeah.
It's beautiful. Who are you?
I am a mother.
Yeah.
I am a wife. Yeah. I am a podcaster, content creator. I'm Muslim. Yeah. I'm a sibling, a daughter, and I work in property.
Yeah.
Is that part of my identity? Nah, it's just making a living, really.
Nice.
Yeah, that's me.
How many brothers and sisters you got?
Older brother, 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was you like as a child?
Black sheep, man. What are you talking about?
You was what?
The black sheep, bro.
Black sheep.
Yeah, bring the violins out right now. I want all sizes.
No one cares, man. My boy Frank said he's even West. No,
that's it.
Yeah, he's a black sheep. What do you mean?
Because I was the third child, so they had the first son.
Yeah.
You know, God's gift in that.
Yeah.
Then you had the first daughter, and then you had me.
Yeah.
I was a third wheel for a minute. I was away, like little scapegoat for the older ones, and they had their own motives, and I was like, what about me? Then I had my younger sister born 8 years after me, and she was like, oh my God, like unexpected surprise. I'm just like, I'm here, guys. So I'm the one that didn't have all the photos. So when you have like the firstborns, you're like, oh my God, pictures every 2 minutes. Yeah. I was a child. I was just like, yeah, you kind of see her there on the edge of the photo, like my childhood photos didn't quite exist.
No.
Nah.
What was it like? Because what's your background, your heritage?
So I'm from Sudan and Egypt. So my mum's from Sudan.
Okay. So
and my dad's from Egypt. Yeah.
Sudan, and you're Muslim?
Yes, sir.
You're in the Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam.
Yeah, is that right?
No.
No.
Nation of Islam is like a whole different sector of Islam that kind of started in the past. Do you know like Malcolm X and even Malcolm X left Nation of Islam with time.
I stand corrected. Please forgive me.
So I'm here to school you too, to educate you. It's cool, man.
So what was it like then? Since you got the older brother, you got the younger sisters, you're in the middle. You feel like you're the black sheep. What was it like?
I felt like I was a black sheep. Now we cool. We're grown.
What was it like the difference between like your brother and yourself, like boys and girls, like in your household? Not even
culture-wise, which is very different than faith. So let me just get that real quick. Because people get the two blurred and overlapped, which is
definitely.
No. So culture-wise, he can do what he wants, innit? We realised like in our culture, men are kind of like in a weird way not shaped to like, they're just enabled to just do what they want. So even if they do wrong, he's a boy. Whereas girls are probably more disciplined, harder, because like you're a girl, you need to reserve yourself, you need to reserve your reputation. So I felt like my brother had it a little bit easier than we did growing up.
Why do you think that is?
Because he's a man.
No. Because as you're talking to me, and this is like you said, we're gonna unpack bags. Something just hit me in it, and I'll tell you what hit me in a minute.
Go on.
I'll ask you. Why do you feel? All right, let me tell you what hit me. What hit me is it's like an epiphany, like a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Like I'm slightly aware of what happens within certain cultures, pertaining to men and women. Like a lot of Asian cultures, I think Turkish culture, certain other cultures I know about, where the men are allowed to do what they want, basically, and it's a lot harder for the women.
Yeah.
Like they're stricter, like you just said.
Yeah.
But for me, now, as you said it, like, your mother is the biggest and strongest person that's ever going to be there in your life.
100%.
So, like, we know some people have got wayward fathers and all that kind of stuff, but your mother's always consistent. She's always there. So possibly this is part of the reason for being so hard on women, because they've got so much to carry within life. Do you know what I'm saying? And to account for, and to be the rock, and to help out, and to just to go through, to suffer. You suffer, not suffer. You have the blessing of childbirth. Like, but it's not easy. Come on.
Trust me, it ain't.
Do you know what I mean? And then obviously in society, in the world, we see everything that goes on. So just not to take away from what you've said, but just educating me in that. It feels like, although there is the arguments for the sexism stuff, forget that, and let's look at the stuff where women are helped to be stronger, because people know the journey, or the certain faiths know the journey that you're going to endure, the things you're going to encounter. And men get away with stuff because they're like, sorry guys, we're a bit weaker. Do you know what I mean?
But that's the reality. Women are stronger, but then there's a different type of strength. So emotionally we're stronger. Spiritually we tend to be a bit stronger. Like we hold on to a lot more, whereas men are physically stronger. And then they know how to also maybe like maintain certain emotions, like, well, they know how to manage it so it doesn't get, like, let's just say someone passes away, a man has the ability to sort of hold that in a little bit longer than a woman does. Like, let's say when the news breaks, he's like, he has to firm it. Do you know what I mean? Even if he doesn't want to, it's his duty. But as a woman, this is where she falls maybe sometimes weak, where the emotion over heightens and she paused. But do you know what I mean? But when it comes to what you said about my mother, 100%, I think she raised me beautifully. Like, I'm very proud.
God bless you, Mumsy.
Yeah, man, she's incredible. Like,
no,
100%. Like, I'm very proud of the way she raised us. There's nothing that they've ever done that I regret. Like, as a kid, I'm like, damn it, man, why can't I go out? Because Islamically, there's no difference between a boy and a girl. Like, it's not like men can have sex outside marriage and women can't, or whatever. There's no like freedom passes for a man over a woman. Like, we're equally, when we sin, we sin. When we do deeds, we do good deeds. And there's no preference or variables. But culture there is, and it's just because they care so much about your rep. Like, what would someone else say if they see you with this person? What would they say if they see you coming home late at night? Do you know what I mean? So I respect it, and I'm grateful for it, because it shaped me into who I am today. And I think I'd like to say I'm an incredible mum. I'd like to say
an incredible mum. You could say you're an incredible mum.
My son, his energy is positive. Like, he's different. He's set up different, emotionally intelligent, and he's very special in his own lane. Born prematurely, never complained in his life. He's 8 years old.
Oh, bless. What's his name?
Khalil.
Khalil.
Yeah, Khalil means Khalil.
How prematurely?
He was born 3 months early. So my waters broke at 25 weeks, and he was born at 27 weeks.
And how was that for you? Like, because
it's hard.
Yeah, was it scary? You got to talk me through it, because I don't know what you went through. Like,
so
you're waiting, like, you get pregnant, you're waiting. You know, there's a certain time for it to happen. And I know, like, I've got children. Obviously, at the end, towards the end, you just want the baby out, like, the baby out. But that's just before he's supposed to come out. And you're aware that it's earlier and stuff, so you must have had threats and worries of what is going on.
Let me explain to you, like, my process and through the pregnancy. So firstly, my best friend had a stillbirth. So when I got pregnant, I said, if I'm pregnant, I kept on not like embracing the pregnancy. I was like, no, because at any point, there's no guarantees. There's so many miscarriages, so many stillbirths that I don't want to now. It's hit home to me that out of nowhere, this can all change. So only at like 20 weeks or 22 weeks, I embraced, all right, cool, I'm pregnant. Because I started seeing all the scans repeatedly. Everything's nice and smooth.
Because you know that you're pregnant, but you're still like, you're just being skeptical just in case.
Yeah. I'm always trying to protect myself, and it's just like, I'm a realist, and as raw as it is, it's just like it's my duty to hold my child in. And if I can't do it, then I can't do it. And for whatever reasons, I'm not hard on myself, but I'm just a realist, because I don't want to be falling so deep into the concept of having a child, and you become obsessed. And when you become obsessive or so broody and over preparing, then it's heartbreaking when you lose a child. So for me, when I saw what happened to my best friend, I was like, do you know what, humble yourself, Hebz. It was my first child, and then the minute I started embracing it and I actually revealed it to social media, my waters broke when I was in the toilet. And I was like, that's a lot of water, you know. And I was like, what's going on here? I heard your bladder's weak when you're pregnant, but that's like liters. And then I stood up and I was like, oh, we're still doing this. And then it took me a while. Then I looked down at my stomach and went down. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. I just started freaking out. I called my manager and I said, I don't know what's happening. And then I had no contractions, nothing. So I thought the baby was gone.
Yeah.
So I called my mum,
Because of
called
what
the
you know
ambulance.
about your friend stuff and what
Not
you've
just
got in
that,
your
but
mind.
like there's no movement.
Yeah,
So why is the child not moving?
Yeah.
Like if he's alive, surely I feel like something or like contractions is trying to come out, because when, as far as you know, no one teaches you premature labour, all these different types of intricate like levels of labour, no one tells you about. So this is my first experience or knowledge of premature labour. Like it didn't exist before that.
Yeah.
So to me, I had no knowledge prior to kind of reassure me that this is going to be okay.
It must have been so scary,
Yeah,
man.
it was, but
It's
like
just-
I just
wow.
had to trust the process. So my mum came, we sat in an ambulance, and then they were like, yeah, you're going to go straight into the labour room. If he's going to be born today, he's probably going to be brain dead. He might have bleeding in the brain, he might be blind, deaf, his organs might not be fully built, he might not even have a rectum. There were so many different things. Basically my child's going to be either disabled or dead.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, cool. And I remember like my ex-husband, I kind of like
You're there
patted
in
his
the
shoulder.
hospital and everything,
Yeah, I said to him, can we go home? Because this is a dream. This ain't real. Like, what are you talking about? Let's just go home. He's like, Hebz, this is happening. And then, like, only like a few hours in, they went, by the way, no contraction, no movement's a good look, because it lets you know the baby's not ready to come out yet. I'm like, y'all could have told me this in an ambulance, because I've been sitting here going, oh my God, that mum, he's gone. Like, and the whole time he was just chilling. He was chilling in my stomach for 2 weeks in the hospital. Every day, and my legs up, eating chicken.
The water come out, but you.
So it's constantly producing, but it's just coming out. So he's getting what he needs, and it's just going bloop. But they're saying now that there's no longer a membrane protecting him, he can get an infection anytime, or I can get an infection at any point, and that's it. Yeah. But I managed to get him to 27 weeks plus 1 hour.
Yeah.
He was born natural birth. They're trying to say like different doctors, you know, they tell you like different shift doctors tell you different things, and I'm just like, mother trucker, I need some real guidance, like consistency, because I'm ignorant when it comes to this.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's your life and your child's life, so you should be.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I mean, long story short, he spent 3 months in intensive care, and I watched him be resuscitated a few times. Like there was one time where I thought it was game over, because they always tell you it's called the honeymoon stage, where like everything's great, everything cushy, like you can see the child going well, but out of nowhere things flip. I've had babies around me who've been here longer die.
Wow.
And I walked
so
in,
you're going in to visit your child in the
I lived there.
ICU.
It was
ICU or intensive care
yeah.
unit. And then other people's children
were
are dying.
passing. So, and they'd been there, they were ready to go home.
Rest in peace, man.
So to me, I'm just like, my duty, I couldn't hold you in. Like, this is how I was hard on myself. I was like, if I couldn't hold you in for 9 months, then I'm staying here and I'm doing skin to skin as much as I can.
Yeah.
They had to kick me out. They're like, go home and shower. I'm like, nah. He's meant to be inside me right now. So we did the skin to skin whenever. No one can tell me about my child.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you can't touch him today, like a locum, the nurse. And I'm like, nah, that's my youth. We're doing this today.
Yeah.
But that moment when I realised it was game over, or I felt it was, I remember just looking at his fingers, looking at his toes and going, raw, like his lips, his eyes, going, it's
Just
for real.
perfectly formed and they're so little, isn't it?
And but he's gone. In my head, he turned blue. They couldn't resuscitate him. Like I've had like 12 blood transfusions. We've done loads of different things. But this moment here, even the doctors are panicking. And I was like, safe. This is interesting. I'm like, Hebz. I kept on praying. My only prayer was, do what's best for my child. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Is he going to survive, or is he not going to survive? Because sometimes him not surviving is better than surviving and struggling.
Yeah.
So I had to let go and leave it to God, because if I kept on going, I hope he makes it. Sometimes it's like, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because God might go, cool, here you go, but it's going to come with you being a carer.
Where did you get that kind of mentality from, though? Because it sounds like you were so prepared for it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I've always just been... I think it's like I've just always been a bit humble, and I can't explain it really. It's just like the kind of conversations my sister, my younger sister and I especially, as we got older together and started building our own bond, we just have like really deep reflective conversations. All my friends that I attracted, like they're very purposeful. Like everything we did, we're like accountability and, you know, reflecting on life, like purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like we get caught up in worldly desires and we fantasize about an ideal family, ideal children, how they look like. When people tell me, oh, your children are going to be buff, because my ex-husband, half
fast, you know that.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. For the guys at home too, because I'm taking everything.
Subtitles, guys, keep up. So like my friends were like, oh yeah, your children are going to be like good looking, because your husband, like my ex-husband, is half Bayesian, half Jamaican, and I'm half Egyptian. And I said, I don't care. I said, all I ask for is good health and God-fearing. Like I want my child to walk this earth with God in his soul, and to walk, being able to walk fully.
this one, Heba. Heba! You didn't let me go in there. Well, you did inside. Anyway.
But I'm going to try and slow down. So.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's good.
So his name's Khalil.
Yeah, so Khalil, so my name's Hebatullah. That's my full African name, my first name. Heba means gift. Allah means God, so it's a gift from God.
Khalil.
And my name, okay. Hebatullah. And my son's name is Khalil. Khalil Allah was Prophet Abraham's nickname to God, which is basically he was his most dearest and most honourable companion to him.
Okay.
So I wanted to give him a name that he'll like carry with chest. And I felt like names with meanings are important. So
they are very important.
Yeah.
You see, you gave up. You said he was going blue because you never finished the story.
Yeah. So I just kind of felt like that moment, it slows down, and you're just like. So right now, I went from like anticipating you going home and like waiting. Basically, we all waited for this moment where the nurse will call you and say, "Bring in the car seat." Like, this is how deep the politics were in the hospital. Like, everyone's waiting for those words to be said. That means you're going home in the next few days. So I was waiting for that moment. And then when that moment happened in front of me where he stopped breathing and they couldn't resuscitate him for a while, he gets on like waking up and then going again. And I watched it and I was just like, I'm never going to get that call. I'm going to walk away without a baby. But then they managed to get him going. Yeah. And I said, that's it. I ain't going nowhere. I remember once they forced me to go out for lunch. I went downstairs to Pizza Express with the family. And then they're like, oh, guys, so why are you guys here? She's like, oh, she's just given birth. My mum said that. They're like, where's your baby? And I said, no, guys, I'm gone. What do I say to them? My child's in intensive care fighting for his life and I'm here having a salad. So I left. I was like, I can't be here. I have no right to sit here and socialise on my child somewhere else. So for me, like, after that moment, I ain't going out. I ain't going nowhere. You have to carry me out to the building.
Like the wizard said, he said, what did you ask? Where did you get this from? But you said you're humble.
I don't know how to explain.
You can't. You can't. You could do what you want. But this isn't humility. This isn't humility. This is like, for me, it's like you're brutally honest with yourself. Like you said, you're a realist. It's strength. It's strength. It's tenacity.
What he said.
Yeah. It's being you're like not trying to be things like she's being advantageous. She's like you're on this, like you're not okay, you're breaking down things even in the moment. That's the hard situation you've gone through there. Well, I'm glad I'm gonna hear the top side of this story as well, the good side. Your son's here, right?
Yeah, he's here.
Your son's here.
He's
but
here.
Working through these things and making it through these things and being strong enough and being able to be honest with yourself in all these situations, it's a lot, you know.
It is a lot, and I think I kind of went on some weird autopilot of survival when I was in hospital.
Though. What I want to say, because I don't know if you've seen the show before, so later on you know, so what you want to do, you give me a hand, so give me 3. So you give me a hand like here, 3 times. 1,
all right, cool.
3.
Cool.
That's what we're going to do, right?
I'm down.
That's for bringing little man into the world.
I appreciate you. Khalil, yeah.
King
Khalil, that's
King
what I call
Khalil,
him.
persevering everything. We're going to hear the rest of this story now.
100%.
Like exactly what happened. So you went, they convinced you to go and get lunch. You went down there and then someone's talking to you. You realise, not even you realise, you knew already, but you couldn't be here. You need to be back with your son.
Yeah.
So back with your son and then...
Like, how do you explain to the person, so I've just given birth, but my child's surviving, like trying to fight for his life. He's all like on so many different breathing machines. He's got a million little tubes going through him and I'm here just eating. Like, to me, that didn't make sense. I felt like I was displaced. I needed to be where I needed to be, which is where he needs me. And skin to skin is so important for men and women, because when your child's on your chest, literally skin to skin, the heart rate calms down, the temperature is perfect. They're literally as if they're in your room. So like, to me, that's the least thing I can do for my child. I fed him through the tube myself. I did everything where possible, like taking blood tests. I'm like, bring me in, show me how to do it. That's my child. And it was hard. It was very, very humbling. Survival mode was real, because when I left the hospital, my sister had documented everything of the journey and she played it back to me in like a welcome home thing. Yeah. And I literally freaked out and I burst into tears going, that was me. Yeah. She's like, yeah.
Gangster, told you.
Yeah.
No gangster. You couldn't recognize yourself, but you were still going strong, going strong.
I couldn't even cry, because when you cry, your breast milk stops.
Wow.
I couldn't, like, every time I cry, I'd literally be like, nah, Hebz.
I didn't know that. So you Wow.
For me, like, your emotions are so connected to obviously hormones. I don't know the science behind it, so like, don't hold me for it. But every single time I would cry, my milk would lessen and lessen. So I'm like, I need to stop crying. He needs me. So I need to just positive mindset. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think faith is a big deal for me. Having, like I said, it's back to purpose and understanding why we're here. Even your children, they're not yours. You're here to bring them in the world, equip them with information, and then you need to let them go. Do you know what I mean? But we become obsessed and entitled as parents, and it's weird because there's depths and it's very complex. But I had to keep reminding, like, this is just my duty. This is a test from God. And the biggest quote I always use is like, God only gives me what I can handle. So that was constantly there on my brain, which is, I know, like, I got this. Whatever it may be, whether he passes away tomorrow, it's going to be all right.
And then go on.
And then eventually we got the call 3 months later, come get your car seat. And I'm like, what? You're lying. They're like, nah, it's happening. Good. But it was also feeling confident as a mum. Like, the minute I realised, like, I'm going to be here and I'm going to prove to everyone my son's going to be okay. Like, I pulled out the tube for his, like, feeding tube. So I could see he can breastfeed. And they're like, no, he's too young. He's not even like 0 yet. He's premature. I said, I can see my son. He's good. So I stayed in hospital overnight for 3 days just to prove my point. I'm like, what now? In your faces. So then after that moment, they couldn't see him.
You're really like...
But he did go...
No, just in general, sorry.
Yeah. I manned him, don't worry. I manned him.
Go on.
And then he did go home, though. The one thing that was really sad is that they kind of said, oh, no, he'll be fine without oxygen. But then when it came to going home, they're like, nah. The only way he can leave is if he's on a constant oxygen tank 24 hours a day. So we were moving like Ghostbusters with a tank on my back anywhere I went. But it just meant that we were able to go home. It freaked me out, but I kind of would rather just be there in silence and have family time than to be hearing all these beeps and the chaos around you all the time.
Can I ask you something, yeah? I know this happens to a lot of people. And some people don't get the blessing that you got. Some people do. That's really just to say something to all the people out there that have gone through this, have had premature babies or are going through it now. Just a message to them that wherever from your heart, just tell them. Don't tell me, tell the camera, you know.
Talk to and that's a lot of pressure to speak.
Nah, it's all right. Just tell the sisters, because I never went through it. Just tell the sisters, like, like, I could give you the message, because from what you've told me now, it's like, it's never the end. Don't ever give up. Always have faith, believe in yourself, believe in God. Even if you're an atheist, believe in this, in the higher spirit. Like, believe in your child's power.
Yeah,
I'm saying, as a woman, like, I just want time from you. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but sister,
cool.
You got that. Just tell them, man. Tell them
directly at the camera.
Directly at the camera. Tell the sisters they're out there.
It's going to be long-winded though, the whole time.
Doesn't matter. Do it.
So every pregnancy is extremely intricate, and we have this fairy tale idea of it, and if it doesn't go like a fairy tale, it's still your plan. It's God's plan. So don't be overwhelmed. I mean, feel overwhelmed, but don't let that take over your thought process. Like, believe that there's a plan, a higher plan, a bigger plan beyond you, beyond your child's control, but also how resilient your child is. And if it's not God's plan to get him through or her through, then there's also a blessing behind that. And maybe one day it'll make sense, maybe not immediately. But you've got to run with it and trust your own inner strength, your survival mode, your mother instincts, and your support system around you. And we're all learning. It's literally a freestyle game, but it's about, like, looking after your mental well-being and others around you.
Give me some, Heba. Give me some.
Go easy.
Sorry,
I got my bingo wing swinging, man.
Sorry. You know, these not told me. These not told me last time.
I'm swinging.
Look at my, now you good. Look at my hands. You can see my hands, yeah?
I got big hands for a guy, you know.
Your hands all right, but someone,
hands.
they told me last time I was hitting, I get excited, I was hitting too hard. I was like, yo.
You better have some insurance, you know, when claims are kicking in.
Okay. I don't want to do it again.
It's all right. We can just do 2 fingers. But yeah, so he came home. He was on oxygen for a year.
Yeah.
But it just meant he didn't get to do normal things that kids did. So no soft play, no play dates, no nothing. He was at home. Any bit of infection, his lungs, he had chronic lung disease. I was told I was going to be his carer up until the age of 11, that he wouldn't be able to be off oxygen for a while. but by the will of God and my determinedness of going, let me just try and provide a little bit of oxygen. Obviously, responsibly, like don't call social services on me. But
you're saying that it is what it is.
Yeah,
you have to use that motherly intuition as well. Sometimes,
honestly, that feeling is hella real.
Yeah, I have to say my one now. Don't, like Heba said, don't ever give up. Don't listen to these people all the time. Don't listen to the people all the time. You know your children's power and stuff. Use the power of your family, whatever they call it, of God.
Yeah,
you know that. If you feel it, your mother do it, father do it. Because don't believe the doctors all the time. Your children.
What I will say is, one doctor said to me, which was really empowering. He said, "Here's one thing that I'll tell you that you need to like always have in the back of your mind. You're the parent. These nurses are here to assist you. You are still the parent." He went, so don't let a nurse tell you can't touch your child.
There you go.
Unless your child's in great danger, then cool. Because I used to have certain nurses who don't want me to take my child out because it's an inconvenience to them. And I started being firm. From when I felt empowered, I'm like, do you know what? Bun all of you. I want my child right now. And it's just like, well, now they knew. Like, as soon as I walk in, skin to skin time.
Good.
And I don't care how I need to sleep or whatever. My child's here. I'm blessed. I'm good.
Process into your own hand. Not a lot of the process, but some of the process you have to take into your own hands.
As time progressed, initially I was freaked. I depended. I'm on a no sugar diet. Okay, why are you trying to tease me for?
I'm sorry.
That's just mean.
I'm wasting away. So
I'm trying to lose the happy weight.
This will lead nicely into my next section of growing up British.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because because of these me growing up British.
Yes,
apart from my counterparts in Africa, Nigeria, where I'm from, my teeth have had hella problems. I was eating bull sweets from when I was young, and these pear drops and sucker sweets.
I got crazy. Like, I got crowns like I'm royalty. Like, what's going on?
So what was it? What is that? Talk about growing up British.
So basically, anyone who's from another country but born and raised elsewhere or raised predominantly elsewhere, you're a third culture kid. So you belong to two different cultures and you don't actually feel very displaced regardless of where you go. So I can be walking around saying, yeah, I'm proud to be British. I'm a Londoner. What do you mean born and raised? Are you mad? Then someone will look at you and be like, so where are you originally from? You speak really good English for someone like you. Do you know, like, it's little things where, like, you know, something can kick off and then the racism kicks in or the Islamophobia kicks in, and it's a constant, like, go back to your country vibes. You might not experience it directly all the time, but the subtleties about, even if it's like the UK racism sometimes is very sophisticated and calm.
Yeah, definitely. We can unpack that all the way, but then
on the flip side, just of the third culture kid, is that you go back home, like, you're Nigerian, right? So I go back home to Egypt. I'm like, yeah, I speak fluent Egypt, and I speak fluent Arabic. I'm Egyptian to the core. Are you mad? Then I walk in and they're like, oh, foreigner. And I'm just like, but I'm proud to be where I'm from. Then someone goes, actually, you're not the real Egyptians. Then someone goes, oh, you're not really Sudanese. You're too light. And I'm just like, listen, I belong in the sun. I should not be this pale. But it's just one of those things that you're trying to find your identity where you belong. And the beauty of a third culture kid is that you all kind of have that common thing. How you choose to embrace it. Do you want to, like, feel lost in it, or do you want to feel empowered by it and go, cool, it is what it is?
I feel like they should all fuck off. Because when it comes...
Are you referring to the third culture kids? Are you just as racist? Are you that much of a Londoner?
I think they should all fuck off. Who don't... You know, the ones where it's all right until something happens, like we've got now about there's the deportation rules and there's the stuff that's going on in different countries, and then people start putting, oh, well, the Ukrainians do this and the Nigerians do this and the Romanians this and the Polish that and
Yeah.
Like you said, it's all good and well until certain things happen.
Yeah.
If they wanted to open the books and look at all these different demographics, and they're pointing fingers out, and their input into the infrastructure in each and every country, including the British country, including England and the countries around the world, what they did, and the thing, then even the things that the people are talking about are actually benefiting from that these other people did, they'd have to shut the fuck up. That's why I say they shut the fuck up. I'm sorry about swearing in front of your sister, but that's how I feel. But it's like but it's like. What?
But but that's like when they do Brexit. Like when Brexit happened, they're like, oh, they're gonna steal our jobs. I'm like, fam, but you don't want to be like a dustbin cleaner. I don't understand. Like you're on benefits, my G. Like you're not trying to. But then that shows you how ignorant, because the Londoners don't want Brexit. It's stupidity.
Not every Londoner's like that.
No. London's calm. Like we have subtle racism in London, but like the rest of the UK, they're just so literally they're stupid, and it's just like they don't understand what they're really talking about.
Wait a minute,
they're just rednecks.
When You said the rest of the UK. Whoa.
What do you mean?
There's not tarnish everyone with the same brush, innit?
No, as in. So basically, so let me just break it down. So London, Birmingham, Manchester, for example, they're very multi, like they're very diverse as far as population.
Okay.
So white people have been forced to integrate with us. So they've kind of learned we're useful at times. Do you know what I mean?
You're funny.
But then the outside areas where the Karens are really hardcore and the rednecks are popping. And you don't see a brown person on site. Even the Polish are mad foreign
like
to
Wales
them.
or certain places.
It can be anywhere, Bristol, wherever. Where it's just like this, like very like you have villages, and you don't have that. They have their own community, their own setup, and they've never like it's a bit like in America. Certain states, people have never left their state.
Yeah.
They live like hillbilly vibes.
Yeah.
So we have that on a smaller scale in the UK. And those are the people who are like, oh, they fear the unknown and they're so ignorant or they're so embedded through generational hate.
Yeah.
That they just go, oh, Brexit sounds like a great idea. It's like, what are you saying now? Because we're struggling. We're all struggling. All of us are struggling.
I mean, it's to me, you got, there's definitely, how can I say, it's just such a mad, it's a topic for me as well, because obviously I'm first generation born here, right? Cockney as hell, excuse me, cake and custard all the way. I go back home to Nigeria. Same as you. I don't speak my language fluently, but they're still looking at me like, nah, you're from London. Come to London, at certain times, it's like, oh, you're black. But I don't really get that as much as back in the day, as far as I'm concerned. I don't pay as much attention to it. I don't give it as much power.
That's because you've changed your mindset. Yeah,
it's still there though. Like with the police, with people on the train, with the way people look at me certain times, I can still feel the undercurrent. With the way I'm spoken to certain times, the undercurrent is still there. But
you touched on police, right? And I spoke about this on a podcast before, and I said like how the issue with police in London specifically is that you have a lot of like non-minority police officers who don't live in London but managing London at times. Yeah. So they don't know the culture. They don't know the vibe. They don't know.
Watching TV, they're watching fucking Top Boy and all that stuff.
So they don't know how to deal with it. So they need people from the ends, like as in police officers from their areas to build that community vibe, because there won't be that many searches and stop and searches and intimidations, and kids won't fear them because these people are so amateur towards the culture. They're so unaware of the culture that they fear it. So they don't know how to approach these kids. So it's so easy for them to like be aggressive towards them. It's so easy for them to arrest them rather than just have a conversation with them. We don't have to like pull guys up all up on a wall and have a conversation in a very like embarrassing, aggressive way. We can just have a conversation. And when you grew up in ends back in the day, you had police officers that will roam certain streets and you knew my guy over here and my guy over there, even if they're troublemakers, and you can have conversations with them. That doesn't exist. Community vibes don't exist as much in police, like within the police firm these days.
Yeah, so I think it's all fucked. Sorry, it's making me straight across the board because I think that there's definitely what you said. Cause
there's a disconnect between them.
It's just like there's a lot of young officers now. So even if they're not from outside London, they're so young. They're not seasoned. They're just working off of their own hormones and their own energy and their own thing. That which is a problem. Ego is a big thing. Yeah, so they haven't learned the ropes, kind of thing. Then you've got the ones from outside London as well. But then you've got the people in the city that are committing crimes as well. Certain people need a fucking slap. Certain people need a slap.
Agreed.
But it's just like, it's just a whole mess. I think it's just a whole mess. I think, me personally, what we need, which I don't know if it's going to happen, what I can't see happening, is man them going and joining the police. And when I say man them joining the police, I mean...
Until we start changing the culture and the stigma behind police officers, it's never going to happen. I know police officers who are mandem, but they get stick all the time.
Yeah, but I'm saying until that's fair. They're gonna get it, and we get stick everywhere we go. Like I said, I still feel the undercurrent in certain places, but we're gonna allow that stick to stop us from going in and breaking their fucking stick. Do you get what I'm saying? Like in America, it's integrated. There's a lot of fucking racism over there, a lot of it. But pound for pound, you see a lot more black people in the police force. There's still that whole big gang thing. They might stick together. They might do certain things, but we're represented a lot better in those countries. Seriously,
but certain states.
Okay, yeah, certain states.
Because some places are completely like so the reason why a lot of police, not the only reason, one of the reasons is like police officers who carry guns they can't, like people who are getting killed. Do you remember the Chris Cabba guy who passed away here?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things where it's just like, you can't just shoot someone because you're fearing what's going to happen next. That's not a reason. So the people in America that are getting shot by just reaching into their glove compartment to get the ID out, you should be trained better. You shouldn't fear what's going to happen next. You should be ready to embrace, like, all right, do I need to move this way? Do I need to do this way? Like, what is the safest way to approach it? But they just fear it and go, no, I need to impulsively shoot right now. You can't be impulsive. You can't be eager. You have to know what you're doing.
Do you know what? I don't want to take away from what you're saying, sis, yeah? But I don't know the statistics of how many police officers get shot on the job. I don't agree.
I feel sorry for
Yeah,
them.
I don't agree with the stuff of them shooting people and all that all day, every day. But it's on a base level. I do security. So when people go to a rave, everyone's raving, but anyone who wants to start trouble, I'm their target.
Yeah, 100%.
They're thinking, oh, if I want to have a fight with that person, I'll get past that security guard.
No, I get you 100%.
Let me just land on
Yeah,
this,
of course.
So then you're rolling up on these people, and this is like, they might roll up on 10 people in a day, and you don't know, because America's even worse, but people are mad.
They're mad.
People are crazy. Then you know, a lot of people got guns in America. They can have guns. There are guns everywhere.
They're allowed
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you know, like, so it's either me or them. In certain situations, either me or them. And when you like in life, every human being, when you show too much kindness, you end up suffering for it. So I'm not condoning none of the killings that police do, none of the police brutality, none of that. But I'm saying, going into that job, especially in America and stuff, and rolling up on people, you don't know what people are gonna do. You never know. Even now, you don't even hear, sis.
Yeah.
You don't know. Like, man's getting stabbed because they're not.
There's
like,
police officers getting killed.
The police, not sorry. Yeah,
but there are police officers that are being now attacked by young boys who don't fear them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah,
And
that young generation is lost.
One poke, that's your life. That's your family's lost you, your parents, your kids, everything lost you. Mate, to take me to the 12 rather than the 6 every time. Every time. But see, it goes.
No, it's cool, but you're right, because the difference is, though, police are here to stop, whereas these kids are problematic. So yeah, there are going to be
it's their job, innit?
Yeah, so it's their duty to try and minimize the impact and not add to it. So sometimes they add to it with their energy or their approach or the manner. Yeah. So they don't know how to calm a situation. They can only make it worse and make it even more out of control. So there is an issue there. Not with all police officers. Some guys are literally doing their best to minimize any sort of impact.
It's like two evils, though, sis. And even like, I said it. You said something on your show one time. You said something about, I don't want to digress too much, but about Muslims. No, we're not all on this thing. Because if we was all on this thing, everyone would be dead.
We would be on this thing.
Exactly.
We'd be gone. You'd be gone.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the fact. So it's like the same thing. It's not every teenager isn't this and every friend isn't that. It's just like certain times you've got the shit ones and then the shit ones, and then people buying into the stereotypes. So before they even talk to the human being that they're going,
they've already made an assumption about them.
They've already made an assumption.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the man on the road towards the police,
but the thing is,
or the police towards the man on the road.
But the thing is, we're all fault of that. Like, you'll make your own stereotype. No matter how open-minded you are, you'll have like a slight assumption of a person when you meet them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, by nature, we have our own stereotype. And every single culture has its own stereotype about a different culture. And it's just who it is or what it is. Precisely. But then it's just like, you're right, we can't tarnish it. But I think that's the biggest flaw that we are as human beings.
Can you please move your scarf so we can see the whole thing logo? Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. You've got to promote. Sorry. Growing up.
I mean, hopefully we establish enough. Like, even when this is missing, you know what's up. But until then, we got to go on British.
I'll be soft.
Wait, what that was for?
The first one was 2 weeks to be soft.
Ah, cool. I feel special. You gave me 4.
Yeah, come on, you're special, man. Come on. You're married to one of my good.
You know what? Good. Wild.
Good friends.
That's wild. Yeah. When you messaged me going, oh, I see him in your story. I'm like, that's my husband.
Yeah, let's get into this now. We're going to get into other stuff as well. So, right, Hebz on. So I'm on the thing, yeah, and I think I've done something for.
No, I liked your post. I saw something. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Are you interview? I'll be quiet. No, I'll just fucking.
Oh no! I thought you found me first.
No. I was on the thing, right? And, so, you like this? Heba liked one of the posts from the show, and go through the thing. I tried to look at the stuff. Like, I'm not that great. I haven't got that many followers, so it's easy for me. I like to reply to people that talk to me and talk back and all that. So I looked. And then but then first I like to find out what you're about. I just take a little peek, like everyone does with humans. I took a little nose.
You're preying.
Yeah, it's called preying. So I was preying, as Heba said. Right, so I pressed the button, and then bing, I see my boy. And when I say my homie, I'm saying if anyone knows my story about life, I think he was in the first play that I did when I really decided I wanted to be an actor. That's how far back it goes.
Yeah,
and
he told me.
I had a kind of alright part, but he had a good part. And he can sing good, and he's a fucking amazing guy. But yeah, so it was like, I've known him since then, and we haven't lost contact. And we're talking over 25 years, maybe. We're talking 25. I'm talking almost 30 years.
Yeah,
like.
tell me your age without telling me your age.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So it's like, so I see him I'm on the thing now. I'm looking at him, and I see him. I goes, and he's playing with
My son, Khalil.
Khalil, he's playing with Khalil.
Yeah.
So I'm like, rah, is that your little one? He looks so cute. And then I looked again, and then I looked into the actual profile, and I realised it wasn't his profile. Excuse me, I realised it wasn't his profile. And then, so I said, what you doing with my boy? And then you said, da-da-da-da. And then she sent me the video. She sent me, hold on. She sent me the video. I go back that way around as well. Alhamdulillah. She sent me the video.
Energy.
Oh my God. I could have burst. I swear to God. No word of a lie.
That's nice, man.
Allahu Akbar. God is great. God is good all the time.
Always.
Because she said, nah, not only, yeah, that's your boy. She goes, that's my husband.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And the video was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, of the wedding, and it just the glow in you two's eyes when you looked at each other, the smiles on your face, that was like the most finest rays of sunshine that anyone could ever.
got
God could ever
you.
produce. The finest rays of sunshine. Do you know what I'm saying? And the way you looked at each other, like I was, I was in such awe, because I love Ansu. That's my boy, right? I was in such awe. The awe drove me to say, I wish one day I could look at somebody and somebody could look at me like this one day.
That's deep.
Wallahi.
That's
I'm
amazing.
telling you.
That's amazing.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
It was so warming. Like I sat there and watched it, I welled up, I smiled. I was so happy. No one will understand. I cannot I'm a hype guy all the time. You don't, even you at home, you'll never understand the way I feel.
So just
no, God cannot give me the words to explain
just
how
for
I
the
felt.
record, I made you weak. Watching the video made you emotional.
Very weak. Very weak,
guys.
But it wasn't you. It was the.
Give me credit, man.
It was the love that you two had for each other. It was the beauty of the the love that your families had for you. The I can't say the word. The celebration in the moment. What I'm trying to say. That moment. And it was just so beautiful. I really can't construe it, guys.
Do you know what it was? Because it's pure. Like there's something about it, and I can't like.
It's pure, but it was you was dressed so well. Makeup was so nice.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? My guy had his feet he had like a full regalia.
Yeah.
It was just like. People try and say that you can't lie about what I saw in that video.
Do you know what it is?
It was beautiful. Let me just.
I appreciate you.
It was beautiful.
I pray you genuinely find that as well.
Well done.
I found my person. Yeah. And I genuinely felt like I've been single for 6 years proactively.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, no. I was dating, getting to know people because I had to find my person. I was on dating apps. I met him on a dating app. Yeah. And because I only get approached by non-Muslim guys all the time, and they're like, you're always saying, I'm not, are you Muslim? They're like, I mean, assalamu alaikum. My dad's auntie was Muslim. I'm agnostic. I can take my shahada tomorrow, and I'm just like, no. So like, it's long. So I had to go on like dating apps to like find Muslim guys because it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But when you've been married before, you don't want to settle because you know exactly the growth you've had, the experiences you've had. And as much as I've met really good guys along the way, they just weren't my person. And I'd have to like really overlook certain things that maybe are important to me to sort of compromise on those values so I can be married, so I can have more children and just tick off these boxes. But I'm like, nah, if my only purpose in life now is to be a mother, then we'll run with that. And then this guy landed. And I'm like,
hey, man, Ansu.
Yeah, and he was just literally a beautiful surprise. Yeah, like I was just like, I need to, because I told him openly, like I had options and like the rotated options. And as soon as he walked in, I'm like, sorry guys, y'all got to go. Yeah, and I just locked everyone off. And it was nice to lock off guys with chest. Because before I'm just like, let me just hang tight to this guy for a little bit because he could be aight, and let me just bring in a new guy. It was really bad, but eggs in one basket was not the one for me when you've been married and been in a relationship for 10 years and a very negative relationship for 10 years. You just can't run into it. I'm not naive. my lens has been changed. Do you know what I mean? Humbled nicely.
What's your advice for young Muslim sisters who are avidly in the faith? So it's like we're abstaining before marriage, want to get married, but have a lot of options. How's a good way to circumnavigate that? Because me personally, I think like too much options becomes no options. Too many options become no options. That's just me personally. Like, that's what's happened to me in the past.
Yeah. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah, how do you do that? And then also, so I want to ask 2 questions. I used to do that. I'm getting back to myself. How do you also sift out the real from the bullshit? Like the guys, assalamu alaikum, I'll do my shahada now. Because there's guys that will try and get with you because they know that is the ethos, that you won't be doing anything to your married, but you're willing to get married once it's in the right faith, and you're, for want of a better phrase, let's say eager to get married. Some people are eager to get
there's pressure to get married.
Pressure to get married and start your family. It's quite an obstacle course to
get through and to
navigate.
Through. 100%.
And you've got foxes and wolves and stuff at the side as well, like trying
to look like Prince Charming.
Yeah, trying to get you. It's a lot.
Trying to kill my time. But yeah, no, I think for me, it's hard. It is a journey, and every journey is completely different than the other person. But what I will say is like, what I learned in my first marriage is don't fall. We have this rookie move as women by default, whether you're Muslim or not, is that we always see a potential in a guy, and we're like, do you know what? I can see the way he loves his mum. I can see the way he loves whatever. I can see the potential and he can be this incredible guy. I can see the qualities in him. Let me help him get to that potential. You have to take people for face value. So we always turn red flags into amber flags and go, do you know what? I can shape him. But then the guy will be like, why are you trying to change me for? And it's just like, he's not ready for the growth. Do you get it?
I get it.
Take a guy as he is. If a guy what he's showing you is literally what he's showing you. Don't start reading like he's going, I'm not ready for marriage, going, I can change that. I don't want to have kids. Maybe with me he will. Girl, no. So, and if he changes his mind, it's because he's had his own moment where he's recognized, you know what, I think I actually want to get married. Yeah. Something else has influenced it. It's not going to be you trying to like plant little seeds, because they're going to die. Those seeds will never grow. I think also understand your purpose. We fall into lust easy. I don't think I was in love before, and I think with Ansu, I'm truly in love, and I understand what love is. Yeah, nice. Relax your face, man. But lust is a big thing, because that's where you start turning the reds into amber.
How do you fight it? Because like, well, we're gonna break it down and let's get into it, because you're a young Muslim lady or you're a young Muslim man. The abstinence of sex is part of the culture.
Yeah, I think
so that it's gonna be harder if you've never had sex, or if you're coming into hormones and stuff like that, and then so you've got the desire to get married, coming to hormones, people trying to stick it on you, the fakers, the real ones, all this stuff like.
So what I will say to people in general is, obviously, like, Islam and Christianity is also about abstaining from having sex. So it's all faith, but we're still human, we're flawed. Yeah. So what I will say is, if you do ever cross that line, don't be too harsh on yourself. God is forever merciful and forgiving. So as long as you're truly like, you want to repent and bet yourself calm, like we all make mistakes, but don't let that dictate your next journey. So if you feel like because you've had sex with someone, now you got to marry that person, that's a rookie move, because that's not your person. Just because you guys felt weak for each other, that shouldn't navigate the next step of, well, now I'm no longer a virgin, I need to marry this guy, because that will mess you up as well. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
But because it's such.
That's why I'm asking you this question.
Because people put your virginity on a pedestal, that the minute especially with certain cultures, like luckily not my culture at all, but some women like get honor killed. Do you know what I mean? If they were to find out that they're not a virgin and stuff. So it's scary, because the cultural element of it, nothing to do with faith, because God does not say kill your children, but ego and pride does. The reputation of a family.
I know vaguely a few sisters that have had children out of wedlock, and the families disowned them.
Yeah, but when they have grandkids, the family will be like, oh, let me just see my grandchild real quick. It's a risky move. Women don't do that. I'm not encouraging it, but they do tend to navigate back when they see the grandchildren. They're like, all right, cool. Let me just, all right, maybe I can look past it. Because they're suckers. Grandparents are suckers for it. That's it. It's a next level. There's a saying is that the love for your grandchild is stronger than the love for your own child.
Okay.
And I think there's just something beautiful about it. Like my dad, before he passed away, he had an incredible bond with my son. Yeah. Like my son still writes like "I love you, Giddo" on like on random bits of paper. He's been dead for 2 years.
Do you know what I think? Do you think that's like? Because like by the time my kids, by the time my kids have kids, I will know so much. I will just know, like all the shenanigans, all the nonsense, just the pantomimes that we get into in life, the things we worry about and stress about. Like on the internet, it's just telling you, the most important things is this. Don't worry about. Don't think you can't get away from it. Like you learn stuff all the time. Like, but by that point, you know what is.
When you're that old, yeah.
When you're that old, you know what is good, what makes you. And that's the money right there.
But you know what it is though? When they're older,
get to the money, God.
My dad, was this angry man. I get licks for nothing. I get licks just in case.
No, when he was young. When he was young. Then when he get older, go.
But then it's just like, and then it's like, but then my younger sister has never witnessed it. My dad, because obviously men get softer with age.
Yeah.
So his grandson, my child, all he knows, and I never got to have a grandparent relationship because my grandparents were just old people in Egypt. And all half of them had passed away. So I never really understood the strength and the importance of that bond until I witnessed my dad with my son, and I'm like, yo, this is beautiful. I can watch this all day.
Kids, gotta have some kids.
No,
I'm joking. My
calm
kids,
down. You ain't ready to be a granddad, trust me.
I know,
but but it was very beautiful to see. And even though my dad's like, he passed away very unexpectedly, he died in his sleep. He was perfectly fine. It was a normal day. We were getting ready to see him, and he just never woke up. So it was massive to take our head. Like my son still can't comprehend. Like he's gone. We visit his grave just so we can process it. But for the 6.5 years that he had with my son, something I can't ever envision happening again. Like the love that I witnessed was so special that I never got from my dad. But I felt it
wasn't the same person, like you said.
Yeah, but it was just I've never seen emotion from my dad. My dad's love language was to provide and to give you licks because he loves you and he wants you to be all right. That's how the caveman mentality of a man, of like an ethnic minority child. Do you know what I mean? It's just like we must make sure the fear of them going out of line. Let me just react with anger because he didn't know how to express love otherwise. Do you know what I mean? So to see that kind of love, and he would let him sleep. My dad had a big belly. He'll let him rest on his belly when he was a baby. He's going, look, I got a special seat for him, and I'm like, this guy is so soft. But I got to experience that love.
It's nice.
Through my son, and I'm just grateful that my son to this day still talks about him.
You create that love through having your son.
I'll take that.
You understand? Because it's like when you can now see the daughter that he may have been at certain times and other children that you brought this son back to you, and you're raising your own family and you're raising good, and he saw the battle you went through with having him, the premature and everything, and he's still here. That's a blessing to him. He was enjoying you, and then he was happy to show you that other side of him.
But I think also him becoming, that was his first grandchild.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of also threw him off. Like I don't think he was ready to unlock that level of love.
You brought the blessings. You brought the blessings to him. Because some people don't even think they can reach that age of having grandchildren. Imagine the conversations that he would have with his peers. That he's now got a grandchild. It's a grandson.
No, he used to take him to his peers and be like, look at my grandchild. They're chilling together.
I never met him. Rest in peace. But I'm telling you, imagine the conversation he'd have with his peers.
Yeah.
The proudness.
I went to the butcher's the other day and the guy went, is that Khalil? I'm like, yeah. He's like, the last time he was here, he was with his granddad. Oh. And I'm like, mad. And then my son was like, yeah, I used to come here with Giddo all the time. And I'm like,
how do you say granddad?
Giddo. Yeah. And he'll be like, and he used to go mosque with Giddo. He'd be like, can I go to Sainsbury's and go and like sit in the cafe? Because like Giddo used to take me there.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
beautiful, man. Like, so nice.
And I'm like, the fact that he still remembers too, and I want that memory to continue.
Yeah.
So I want to create a jar, and I keep wanting to do this of like, I wanted to put all the memories.
Do it.
So that when in 5 years from now, he can remember all the big things that made him feel loved by him. Yeah. Because eventually we start trying to remember.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a faded background memory.
And I don't want to lose this thing. I want to talk to you about death quickly in a minute. But it's so different now to back in the day, because I've just realised I'm doing it now for my kids. But I could go, there's certain times I find a box and a bag of pictures. Do you know what I mean? I could scroll through the pictures, school pictures, and I remember stuff through that. And I've got like old, like, I don't know, school textbooks, and I've got my report card and this and this and this. And without that paper, that physical paper thing, it's hard for me to access it. 'Cause I won't access it digitally, because even when I go to, let's say, send you a message or send someone a message, but I pick up the phone, I look at something, I'm distracted.
100%.
I go this way, I go that way.
I've done that 3 times today.
And I forget what I've got on the phone for, let alone have that moment of, I remember when me and, how'd you say, Granddad? Giddo did this, even when he's 25, 30, 50.
Yeah.
Like, just to have that memory, like, I don't know, like, the hat they was wearing or the bracelet or the picture. It's such a beautiful thing. It's good. It's good.
But you know what's
good?
Do you know what was sad? I had to introduce Ansu to him. And the only way I can introduce him is at his grave. And it took me a while. I was avoiding it for so long. I'm like, what do I say? Like, and I kept on the beauty of Ansu, i.e. my husband, is that he's allowed me to be vulnerable. I've had to be tough the whole time. I've not cried over my dad. I've not grieved over my dad because my son grieves. He cries every night for him. My mum cries 24 hours for him for a very long time. Everyone's going through it. So you're just like, man up, man, don't cry. What are you talking about? But also I don't know what grieving looks like. Am I going to become disabled? Am I going to become like defeated? And then I kind of gave Ansu a heads. I'm like, what I'm feeling with you, like if I'm being real, is that I can see myself getting vulnerable. And if I get vulnerable, you might unlock a grieving that I'm not ready for. And he's like, I'm ready for it. And then I swerved going to the grave. And then one time, like, he saw me after praying, I was just crying. And he's like, why are you crying? I said, my dad will never meet you. You'll never meet my dad. You'll never know how sick he was. You'll never fully understand his character. I can explain it. We can explain people to each other. But until you've had that contact with a person, it's just something.
But you do understand, yeah? Like, and everyone at home, you do understand that your dad is in you. There's certain things, like, no matter what you say, you know, like, even like, it might be a saying, but that's not you, Hebz.
That's my pops.
That's your dad.
Yeah.
So by default, Ansu's meeting your dad. People are meeting your dad because when like my mum's still alive, but she would say there's 2 things I hate: lying and stealing. Like, and that, if I say that, that's not me saying that. That's my mum.
It's inherited.
You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, your kids can go. That's what grandma says.
Yeah.
But he'll never be able to go, you look like your dad, man, when you did that. But do you know what I mean?
But you will know. This is my thing.
No, I get it.
You will know, and then you now, because of your relationship, you can tell him.
But
that's not why I say this.
I can't explain it.
I'm not trying to take away from your thing, but
I agree, and I preach the same thing. He still meets your dad
through you, because I never met him, but I know that he's in there.
No, listen, I'm a female version of my dad. I feel like a dude with a wig on. Well, right now,
there you go. So he showed you. I think he showed you that softer side of him as well, so you can show your softer side at a certain time.
Not 100%.
There's certain things he showed you. Know what I'm saying? I'm just it's just for you to analyze it and just mill it over. Because as you're talking, I've got the opportunity to look at it from the outside. I'm not answering. I'm not. You know, like.
Nah, I hear you.
Yeah, and as you're saying it. Like, even as you're saying it, that power of your dad raising the family, that's you, like, you never even allowed yourself to grieve until you had your
safe space.
Yeah, which is Ansu, which is your husband, which is what you created, and you worked hard for that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you didn't burden no one else with your stuff until it was time to let it go. Don't it sound like something your dad would have done?
Probably.
Yeah? Come on.
Yeah, 100%.
Come on. I make it soft, okay?
I knew you were going to do this. I was going to reach for it first. I'm like, allow it. If I get plastered, I'm like...
Yeah! Come on! Listen.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to start this subject with your dad. I know it's
I'm not going to lie to you. I've never spoken with my dad.
Okay, so...
This is going to be interesting.
Good. No, so... First we're going to talk about death, because what do you think about people getting the opportunity to... knowing the person's going to pass away, but in that opportunity where you know the person's going to pass away, you have to watch them deteriorate as well. So not only you get the opportunity to say bye, but they kind of suffer as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I look at different things. I work in the hospital, but I haven't experienced full-blown death personally yet. Yeah. But everyone has to. I will have to.
That's the hardest part, yeah.
Or the fact of how your dad passed, and he had a blessing, he was blessing upon you and the family and everything, but he passed in his sleep, no illness, no nothing. And then, because for you as a person, loving that other person, you don't want him to go through stuff. You want to be able to say bye to them, but you don't want to. What's your opinion on that? Because it's a tough one. You haven't gone through it.
It's not black and white, and I'm with you in this, because I always go through this every day, and I probably have this conversation maybe like once a week with my sister, and it's just like, would we have rather seen my dad like deteriorate, but be able to build last minute memories and him know that he's been loved and appreciated, and if he harbors any feelings that maybe we're upset with him about anything, that he knows that he passes with that peace of mind, and we have the peace of mind that genuinely he's felt loved, and we've unpacked any conversations. But then I'm experiencing it right now with my sister's father-in-law, who's in hospital and deteriorating basically, and they're basically going through the opposite of what we've experienced, and I'm just like, they're both very bittersweet. So it's hard to watch someone who's so strong become so weak. And I think when it's your parent and someone that maybe you idolize, or someone that really is your role model on levels, because not everyone's parents their role model. Some of them are just like whatever. But when you see that, you're just like, yeah, I can't see this. I can't, like, I have to be able to sit with them, but I can't witness them be this weak, because, or like having dementia or whatever it is. Like, that's my biggest, dementia for me was my biggest fear. Like my dad and my mum not recognizing me, but also deteriorating at the same time. That will break my heart. Every time I watch a storyline, that's the only time you see me cry, because that to me is like, but that's my parents. How? But for me, in regards to passing without notice, it's hard to mentally tell yourself they're gone. Like the amount of times I've driven, like I'm in my car, I'm like, right, he's gone. Like it hits you fresh, because I haven't witnessed the stages. So how do you tell your body? And like, so when you lose weight real quick and your body's going, wait, hold up, what do you mean I've lost weight? Or like, I don't know, something like you've not seen the process to take it in. So it takes so much longer to like comprehend it. So my dad's gone, and for a very long time I speak about it, and I won't say anything, like I won't flinch or stutter or struggle or trip on my words, because my brain's speaking, but they're not connected yet, because I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's happening. And then when it hits in halfway through, you'll hear my tone change, because that's when I'm like, rah, he's gone. Because before I'm just telling you a story. We're storytelling right now. Like when I start telling you about my dad's death or whatever.
Tell me about your fondest childhood memory of your dad. If you don't mind.
It's really weird. Like, it's a family memory that I don't think many people, I don't know, to me it's just a special moment, because we never
don't worry about don't worry about no one else, Heba. Sister, it's yours.
So basically this is like, there's so many memories of my pops where he's done stuff, but this one in particular is quite unique. We actually lost our house and we ended up in a hostel. We went from like private, my dad has own business, everything, and then he got bumped, ended up having to file for bankruptcy. Do you need to sneeze?
Tissue, please. Can you keep talking? Don't mind me.
So yeah, he had to file for bankruptcy, and we literally lost everything. And we end up in a hostel where we had one bed, 4 of us. I remember just sharing a bed with him, and just having my leg over my dad's leg, and just feeling safe. Like I was just like, I was just in his arms, and I'm just like, this is cool, man. This is a nice, like, obviously I wasn't sure what's happening, but I'm like, this is a good flex. We don't get to share beds like this. And I just felt like family. I just felt the warmth, like, and it showed me like no matter what, like money didn't mean anything to me. Nothing money. Like my family's love was there, and that's something I'll always remember. It's such a random memory, but just being in like sharing a space with my family, despite it being such a hard time for them, and them still being able to disconnect their feelings of what they're going through. The hardship of losing your home and losing your business and starting from scratch is massive for a man, let alone a man that's providing. And for him to just still have this like lightness about him, I'm just like, looking back, I'm like, yeah, he's a G for that one. But yeah, man, he's cool. I think my fondest memories will always be with my son. Like, it's so special. I can't explain it. The amount of photos, he'd be like, just give me him, man. Anywhere, we could be in a wedding, we could be in McDonald's or whatever. Just give me him. And I'm like, safe. Like, I have like a babysitter on tap.
Bless,
so it was nice, man.
Bless. Anything else you want to talk about your dad or your mum? You want to talk about your mum? Just about your mum?
She's a G.
Oh, yeah?
She's a G. She is a G.
Oh, yeah.
She's gangster.
She's a G.
She's a G.
She's a G, man.
Yeah.
G's up, mama.
She's a thug. No.
You are so silly.
No, my mum's from Sudan. She's from Khartoum. Yeah. My dad's from Egypt. My mum's, do you know what, mum's giving me strength that she doesn't even know about. Like, my son, when he was born prematurely, they asked me, are you going to have...
Please, slowly.
Oh, for God's sake. My mother gave me so much strength.
When your son was born prematurely.
Yes. They asked me if I wanted to take an epidural injection. And
I know what that is.
Yeah. And I was just like, do you know what? My mum's a soft, kind woman that you want to put in bubble wrap. because of how like just cute she is. Like she doesn't know how to be mean. When she's trying to be mean, I'm like, Mum, relax. It's not you, innit? Yeah. And she had 4 kids with no epidural, and I'm like, if she's a soldier, then I'm a soldier. Do you know what I mean? If she has this much resilience to go through 4 natural births, then my friend, I'm gonna do the same. Yeah. And that's it. That was my decision.
Did you do it?
Yeah, no epidural.
You firmed it, yeah?
I firmed it. I just had to have gas and air, man. But try not to get too high.
I just want to say to you, guys, an epidural is an injection that goes into your spine.
Yeah, I can't do it.
And your spine is your nervous system. It's because you're giving birth, not men but women. That the thing of is dilating and everything.
Yeah.
And they're pushing out.
And the contractions are horrid.
Contractions, it's like...
I think it feels like a certain amount of bones being broken at one time.
Do you know that, like, I had the...
Oh?
To all women. Mothers, take off my hat to you. Well done.
Well, thank you, sir.
It's not no joke. Two of my baby mothers had to have the epidural after the fact.
Mother of your child.
Which sometimes takes longer to kick in, so it's just a bit...
Nah, that's cool. I had gas and air, and I remember like Googling about it. I'm like, what do you do? And then they said, don't take too much off it. If you take too much off it, you can't really control what's happening because you become so clouded. Yeah. So I just took enough, but then I started busting joke with the doctors and nurses. Like, imagine like we're in the labour room, and like you have doctors just for my son because this is like a risky pregnancy. I could die, he could die. We're different blood types. He can poison me right now. Like there were so many issues. Wow. And I'm here like just commentating in a room. My ex-husband was like, "Give me some of this, man, because you're just doing some serious comedy right now."
You know what? I'm sorry. You know that sometimes when you interview people, someone says something, someone says, no, yeah, I did that. No, but I have to say my one.
Go on.
We was in the room, like, because we was taking the gas. Like, one of my baby moms, I think it was my second daughter, she was taking the gas. And I was like, oh, give me that. We was in the room, taking the gas. Her mum and her sister come in. We're fucked.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it.
Her sister come in, he looked at us.
Disgrace.
Oh, the way they looked at us. The way they took the gas away, you know.
Yeah, straight.
Oh my God.
Literally, my ex-husband grabbed
it was so funny though.
It was hilarious.
It was like, it was a lot. It was a monumental day as well.
I was saying some wild stuff. I'm like, when they took out a plastic bag at some point, I'm like, why? Why is there a plastic bag for? Yeah. And they're like, mind your business. Like, we got you. And then there were 2 nurses beefing. I'm like, guys, I'm in a room. I can see this. And they're like, no, nothing's happening. I'm like, I can hear everything. You guys need to sort out your beef right now. And then another woman is screaming outside. I'm like, guys, I think you need to go check for her. They're like, dude, you're in labour. Like, you need to focus right now. Your child needs to survive. You need 2 pushes. Otherwise, he won't make it. And I'm here, like, trying to, like, navigate responsibilities to these people. But my ex-husband called me Conan the Barbarian. He's like, your scream was real.
Wow.
Like, you can hear it from across. Because
he called you Conan the Barbarian. You just throwing that away like that. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Literally. That was literally it.
Like that, yeah?
Because my thing was, I need to get you out ASAP and in the most sensible manner, minimal risk. I can't stop at your neck so you don't get deprived of oxygen.
Wow.
So I am doing this. And I literally end up doing it with one push.
You're doing these sports?
Kinda. I live in the gym.
You sound very competitive. Not competitive. You sound just like.
I'm focused. I'm on a mission, and I will complete my mission successfully.
Good. Well, not actually sound controversial. You're not sounding controversial.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about what's going on in Iraq?
What's happening in Iraq?
With the girl who got beaten to death. Iran, sorry, wrong country. The girl got beaten to death because of not wearing a hijab. And then the stuff that's come out of it afterwards, and then the stuff that has come out of it within the prisons and stuff, and just everything. Because me personally, apart from not being that well versed in the Muslim world, I'm even less well versed in those countries. And there's a reason, like, and I'm going to give you a chance to talk as well. There's a reason that I'm not that well versed, and I believe it's the whole thing that is a propaganda machine. I'm not stupid. Like, I watch the news. Like, I don't like watching TV, but I watch the news. COVID hit, we never saw nothing but COVID. Like, so Ukraine war hit, Ukraine war. I mean, that's what we're seeing. And let's get the refugees and stuff. And there's been other stuff prior to that and before that. I mean, I remember before COVID, all I could see was people getting stabbed every week on the news. Do you know what I'm saying? And then before that, I don't remember, but I know if I thought about it, or if I showed it again, I remember it. But you're showing what they want you to see. So, because now, this stuff's been going on. But I'm only hearing about it now, or they're only making it like common knowledge, common news now.
Yeah.
So these people have been going through stuff and these Muslim sisters have been going through stuff. Women in this world have been going through stuff, and not unlike stuff that's going on in Nigeria, like SARS. There's stuff going on in my country. There's stuff going on in Palestine. There's stuff going on around the world.
But why this?
I wasn't aware of this, and this is something that is part of the Muslim faith, and you're a woman as well. So I want to know your opinion on it, and maybe if you know about it, and then what do you think could be done about it, just to educate people. And I'm going to ask your husband when I interview him afterwards as well, because I think it's disgusting.
Good luck with his answers, because he elaborates to death.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's disgusting that in this day and age, that a human being can be beaten to death because of their attire, irrespective of what nation, religion, what the laws are of the land, or anything. That's prior to any of that. Let alone where it is. I think it's disgusting. Like, it really upset me when I heard about it, but it surprised me just to a point. Because I know this world is a toilet right now. But it's the world's a toilet.
It's always been.
The world's a toilet. No, not always. And there's some decent people in there. There's some air freshener in there. There's some...
But there's always air freshener. But the reality is, it's a toilet.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff we can take from every century, from every experience. Like, I won't tell you my age. But my
that's your husband.
I'll tell you off air, man. But my dissertation was about the propaganda. I studied journalism, and I covered like specifically young black boys in London and how they're perceived by the media, and they create like little hypes and stuff, and it's like to cause fear, to cause
of course,
like, it's all there. Like they have articles that are hella old and put it all just to kind of
that just feeds into when the feds from outside London, or the young feds, see the black youth before there's anything, they're scared.
That's it. They're back to go.
They start licking down because they're shook.
Precisely.
They don't know what's going to happen. Like, rather than just talking to you and understanding, actually, this person's quite intelligent.
Yes, I had to.
We both play the same computer games or whatever.
There's so much we have in common if we just choose to move our ignorance aside. But
then human beings they're easier to control. It's easier for people to eat the food if everyone's fighting.
But sadly, some people's truth is the Sun headline. That's the only form of information. They'll literally pick up the Sun newspaper, and that is literally the world in news they ever know about. They'll have, but that's it.
Let's get to this.
But yes, in regards to firstly,
like,
just to give some clarity in regards from an Islamic perspective, I've only put my hijab on like 3 months ago, right? Before that, skin out, crop top, everything wild, like not wild, but I was out. Like I knew I was going to cover, but it was going to be like maybe when I'm older. Maybe like whatever, but I ended up putting it on because my son said something to me which gave me some wisdom, and I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna run with this. So firstly, in Islam, hijab is part of like the ruling of what you got to do. You got to basically be modest. Men got to be modest. Men have to cover certain parts of their body. Women have to cover certain parts of the body that's reserved only for your family and for your partner. If you don't wear it, there isn't punishment for you besides you and God. So what's happening in Iran has nothing to do with Islam. This is purely culture. It's control.
It's like disparity, like you're saying, the British, it's just, but this is in different places, like this culture and this religion.
They're two different things.
And this is culture.
Islamically, the people who are killing these women, they got an answer to God because they're murderers. Because several women were killed. It's not just the one woman.
Okay, so how many women were killed in this thing?
Women who went to protest disappeared. Some of them never made it home. Some of them were found afterwards. Some of them but the problem is there's a dangerous thing that people are doing, because in Iran and in Egypt and other places, they have this very blurred line between faith and culture because they've inherited it naturally. Can
I just ask you this one more thing now? Because when I posed this question to someone the other day, they told me there's 2 different types of Muslim.
There's so many different sectors. The way there's different.
They said
the Sunnah. There's not Sunni and the Shia, the Salafi.
Yeah, but there's
so many different types.
What are the guys in Iran?
I think they might be Shia.
Okay, and does that depict how they behave? Are they more militant?
There's elements that there is different cultural differences, and they have different understandings of Islam. But the same way you have like the Catholics, and it's just different sects of a faith.
Just for me to understand, the people from Iran, are they more Let me not mess with the sound. Are they more likely to be more violent and extremist, or anything? Or
so Shias aren't more violent, but there's certain things that they do celebrationary wise, that they hurt themselves to grieve.
Okay, so what's that?
I'm not a scholar. I don't want to go deep into it.
Let's go back to what we're talking about.
But basically, the issue, what I was going to try to say to you, like, unfortunately, there's an issue with men in a lot of the Middle East where there's like, they have this pent up aggression and they have a lot of ego and a lot of control, whether it's somewhere in Saudi, somewhere in Iraq, Palestine. There are men who are trying to just take control. And what I was trying to say, the dangerous part is that these women, some of them don't know Islam besides what they were raised on. They've not actually seek the faith themselves. So they think that what's happening is because of Islam. And the media are going, oh, this is a Muslim situation. Or like, as a non-Muslim person, you're watching it's going, wow, this is what Muslims are on. They're killing people. This has nothing to do with faith. And these women now are burning the hijab. This doesn't make sense because you're against the fact that they're forcing you to wear it. But that's nothing to do with faith. So don't disrespect your faith. I know you're trying to symbolize that you're standing up to something. But by you burning your hijab, you're just basically making other people think that you're turning against your faith.
So
you're turning against the men and the system.
Let me ask you, sorry.
Yeah.
So because someone said it to me, like I just learned as I'm going as well. Someone said it to me that in Iran, it's even if you're not a Muslim, they want you to wear a hijab.
The same way if you're in Saudi.
So, I didn't know it was like so then it isn't. So then it can't be attributed to the faith if it's that.
No.
Because if I'm telling you to wear it, then it's a mandatory law of the land.
Yeah.
Apart from the people that are wearing it through faith, you're being told to wear it in this country because the law requires you to wear it. Like it's mandatory.
To dress modestly. So
they require you to wear it. How can I say? It's like in England they require you to wear clothes. Basically, it's not the same thing. But
yeah, but you can't go to England and start walking around naked. You'll get arrested.
You'll get nicked.
Yeah.
You'll get nicked.
So
the punishment isn't the same. But they're saying the punishment is a punishment getting stoned and getting beaten in the street. But it's just so therefore then the people burning it sometimes may not just be because I appreciate what you said. It might be some of the
they're just tired of the system. They're just tired of the fact that
part of it are burning it as well. But go on.
Yeah. But my point is, it's like,
wow,
we can't. We have this very dangerous thing called social media, which has its perks and beauties. Me and you connected on it.
Yeah,
we'll connect with so many different people, learn from different people, but we're also exposed to things and go, like when something takes place, we automatically make a judgment and we decide what this means. So you see a clip of I don't know if you saw that clip of some guy who mashed up the place in his mum's house, and they're like, oh yeah, the caption.
Phone.
Because he didn't get his phone, and then it turned out to be a kid of mental health, and he was 6 foot, weighed 16 stones, that he was severely unwell. But because they didn't put that in the first place, my child can never. I was guilty. I made a stereotype of what this kind of rundown, parent doesn't look after them, parents didn't know how to raise them.
No, but that was that. If it's the yard, that was something. Then the toilet was ripped out the floor and everything.
Listen,
it was mad. You should have known it was something more than
the
that.
tabletop was broken.
Too. You should know it's more than that.
It was deep. So for me, it's just but as social media,
the way it edits it puts it out.
But the way we feed off it, and we're so entitled to make these assumptions, and we put our own captions and our own decisions, we make our own judgments. We do it so loosely and so immediately, so impact there's a reaction, it's an impulsive reaction. So no one's quick to go, wait, is this really faith or is this culture? Is to cry out, what is this? It's like, wow, this is what Muslims do.
Yeah.
That's what Muslim men are like. It's just well, no.
You take it, believe it, take it, believe it, take it, believe it. And
wow. So it's a very dangerous environment that we're in because social media is
toxic.
Yeah, I mean, at least we have more chance of showing truth through social media.
But so then, social media is a good thing.
It has its perks.
Because welcome back to the party. Social media is a good thing because without it, then we'd only have the propaganda machine that is the people that give the propaganda to us.
They've been reported several times, but they monetize on these videos. They will never delete it. If you reported it 1 trillion times over, they will never remove it because this is how they make money. This is the phone time they get.
Yeah.
So these videos will never be removed where a kid's being bullied or the cat's being thrown into a bin. No one's going to remove that because that's how they make their dough. So even if you report my child's being bullied and it's on social media, whoops, because that's airtime. Every single time this is forwarded over, ching 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 ching.
No, there was
so you can do what you want. You can kick up and have campaigns. They won't stop these videos. And also another flip side to it, we're being groomed by social media. We're being brainwashed and desensitized to watch these videos. Before that, it would be like, oh my days, like it'll go on Snapchat, for example, and it'll go after a while. Now it's so circulated, and now people are actually just watching it because they're used to watching it.
Yeah, I still don't watch them.
You might not watch it, but you're probably a different generation. These younger kids,
I try not to open. I don't
but this
open them,
this is social media to them.
Yeah, it's fucked.
This is their Bible to life.
Do you remember? There was like, and you won't tell me how old you are. She won't tell me how old she is.
I'm 36, man.
Hey! I knew I'd get there in the end. Yeah, there was. I think prior to the whole social media thing, like proper for me, there was a thing where you had, they were sending a video around of people looking at a screen, going and reacting. They're reacting to the video. And reactors like think, what the hell are they looking at?
Yeah.
So you see that for a long time, and I never ever found out what they was watching. It was on a TV show like the Tarrant show, not them video shows.
Yeah.
One of them things like that, and just the fact of not knowing what they was looking at and seeing all the people's reaction, that was.
You were curious.
No, I didn't want to see it really, but that was enough for me to say I didn't want to watch it. But it was there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But some people actually want to see it and be scared or see that stuff. And like you said, the being desensitized to this stuff and the stuff that's out there, it's crazy.
It's wild.
How do you stop yourself from looking into it, going into it, or exposing yourself to exposing you? Because once you expose, it's a problem.
There's
Exposing
algorithms
children
as
to
well.
it. No, but like
The danger of actually,
you know, like,
yeah.
Look, right, I want to phone you. Oh, now I'm looking at the thing. Oh, toilet. Okay, boom. No, but look, right. You can have all that on your phone.
Yeah. Constant,
And like,
constant.
I want to have a normal phone. My son the other day, he went to stay with me for half term. He broke his phone for whatever reason. He ain't got a phone.
Freaked out.
Listen, he's supposed to be home at 10. He stayed at class. He stayed at the Halloween party. He left the Halloween party at 10:30. So he got home 11 something. By 10:30, I phoned everywhere. I was walking down to the place he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I was going fucking bananas. That's my mind. I was like, I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm gonna do this. If he better be in trouble, he better be in the hospital. He better be.
There's got to be a real reason.
He better not be outside. Excuse me, I was running. McDonald's. Talking to his mates. I'm gonna have to slap. I'm gonna give him. He phoned me. And I was like, where the fuck are you? Blah blah.
Yeah.
So how do I balance in between having the access to the people that you have access to, because this is how we access people, and not getting sucked in to that stuff, not getting sucked into not just the messages, the videos and the this and that. How do you do it?
I think you can't,
do it?
unless you have a Nokia 3330 or something on, like, that you forget about it, man. Yeah, that's it. Snake, when it had walls still, before the walls were removed. But the reality is, so like my son, who does not have a phone and will not have a phone for a long time, he's still almost falling into the trap of, where's my tablet? Tablet died. What am I going to do now? I'm like, read a book, play with toys, draw. Are you right? But that generation of younger kids, they're literally a slave to social media. So like, obviously your son's story, like, I guess he needs a phone. The whole communication thing it's important to have a phone.
He needs to get fucked up once in a while.
I mean,
no, I'm just joking. I don't hit my kids.
That's your business.
No, I don't hit my kids. I don't hit my kids.
But I think
hit my daughters once in their whole life. They're 25 now as well. That was when they was free. I didn't hit my kids since then. Seriously, I don't see the point in it.
Did they know they got hit once? Have
yeah,
they disclosed it to them?
Give me the camera. Let me get the camera. Let me get the camera. All right, yeah, let me get the camera. Don't hit your children. I don't think hitting anyone makes any sense. Seriously, don't make no sense. If you can't talk to them and negotiate with them or understand their way of thinking, it's long. Hitting them is just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hate you. You're going to hate yourself. And violence doesn't solve anything. You're going to make them even think, okay, yeah, when I can't do something, God, let me just fucking fuck someone up out there.
That's it.
Understanding is the best thing. If you can understand someone and understand the reason they're doing things, then you can negotiate with them and kind of like circumnavigate.
And not just that, there's a level of respect that they're gaining towards.
You respect them.
And they respect you heavily. They fear letting you down as opposed to fearing the licks.
My daughters, they were 3 years old. I swear they was 3, maybe 4. There was my sister who was maybe 13, 14 at the time. I was going to the shop. I said I left them with them. They were rambunctious at the best of times, yeah? So I said to them, listen to your auntie. Don't cause no trouble. I'm coming back soon. When you're from the shop. Yeah, cool. So come back from the shop. I'm gonna do. I said, what's up, sis? My sister started, the 30-year-old starts crying. Oh, what is wrong with you? They won't listen to me, man. I said, what? I said, Tamika, Rhea, come in. They came. Boom, line them up. You know, you line them up. Line them up now. Like, what did I tell you? Because I warned them before I went. What did I tell you? Boom, come here. Bam, bam. Like, I think 1 or 2 shots to the bum. I don't like hitting anybody. Like, if I can fight, I would say it, but I don't like hitting anybody, even to today. But bam, 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 bam. Because what was, I told you, it was causing reaction, right? First one, bam, bam. Hardly touched her. Yeah. That's Rhea. I'm out of you, look. I don't care. I'm out of you. She's older, big woman. She's like, you touched her, she was doing this. Other one got me. Tamika, I ain't seen her for a minute, right? She's able. If you see the show, come and get your daddy. I'll tell it true. I love you. Smack to her, bap, bap. My girl's like the soldier. She's just there. One solitary tear rolls down her cheek, but she firms it like that. Like, you ever seen? Did that show you their personalities from young? Yeah, no, listen, I'm telling you, I put it on air. I haven't seen her for a little while since I come from America. She's able. I miss her. I don't know why I haven't seen her. Come and find your daddy. I tell you, I'm not scared. I'm not embarrassed by anyone else. I miss you, daughter. Come and find me, please. Yeah, please. But you know what it did to me? I don't know if you ever see them cartoons, Tom and Jerry, right? Tom and Jerry, big dog will come like, when the bigger dog will come. And that dog was big, it will go like,
literally, and I really sink him.
Like, I felt that big.
Wow.
I felt that big.
Mad.
Because it was not necessary for me to put my hands on it. It's not that level of anger and aggression.
But it's good that you felt it straight away.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary.
Don't.
I've never done it again ever since. Even my children now, if they do something for me to feel that anger, I tell them, I don't blame you. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you. And that gets them more because I'm ready to do anything for them. So if I get them more, they'll come to me, okay, Dad, now let's talk about it. Or they'll realise that they've really done something to upset me or offend me. Then we can articulate that.
I think being
and
able
that's better
to
for you guys at home.
To communicate and to really hash it down and break it down there's growth from it. So there's and also like the fear of letting you down carries a lot of guilt and weight with them. So they always think before they speak. You know what I mean, they think before they carry it. Like, can I face my dad with this? Can I face my mum with this? So my son, like, even me saying, give me your hand, he's like, and I'm like, give me your hand. And sometimes I hold his hand, I'm like, Khalil, you know you're an incredible kid, right? You know right now you're not behaving, but he thinks I'm ready to slap it. But even if I like come to like fake slap it, he literally start bursting into it. I'm like, brethren, you have no idea what being is. Oh, the fact that you're breaking over this makes me feel good, because then I don't have to take it to like turn it up a notch.
Oh, kung fu
I mean I could, but I won't, because hitting is bad.
I wanna let me get my questions out. Is there anything you wanna ask me?
Rotted. He's going. Why are you putting yourself on timeout? You know, you look like you're on timeout. Is that for you hitting your child with like at the age of 3? Yeah. You're punishing yourself.
These are gassing me up, man. You know me, I got no shame. I had to pick my nose off camera.
What made you start this podcast?
What made me start the podcast? You asked the same question. My brethren said to me, look, boom. Like, I come back, your husband will tell you, I'm outspoken as it is. I was just hovering around, banging around, doing different stuff. We tried to start a podcast with some other brethren, and we didn't really get off the ground. And they said, do this. I've done it first. They said, do it. So I did it. And it's just like, it just works, isn't it? And it's like, since the first couple, once we kind of got the arc of it, it's been therapeutic for me, man.
Yeah, it's good therapy.
Very therapeutic for me. And it's like, more than anything, I'm enjoying the conversations I'm having with people, the blessings I'm getting from it, the time I'm spending with people that wouldn't necessarily see. Like, in a minute, I want to have a ball with this guy. And then people are like, it's getting good numbers as well and views.
Good.
It's helping people as well.
I think that's important, being purposeful what you do.
It's helping people, and it's just getting up and doing that. And then my life's no fucking holiday. It's no spring break.
The life's real.
Yeah, no, it's no spring break. So sometimes coming to the studio and doing this is my breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It helps me keep me grounded. It gives me something to keep going. And then putting it out on a Monday, working with a wizard, doing the edits, doing the adverts, getting the feedback, getting the messages back. It's all good for me. And then just talk. I like talking.
That's
If you didn't, I love talking. So yeah.
Never would have guessed.
Yeah. You want to guess? Yeah, nah. It's just nice, man. I started.
That's good.
As Mastermind says, I started, so I'll finish. It's like, we are looking for sponsors at the moment. Okay, just putting it out there.
When you get the hookup, let me know because I need mine too.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. Inshallah, we'll figure it out.
We shall.
See what I'm saying? What you want subscribers wise? You passed the 1,000?
No. So I've had a break. I've been working a lot on my Instagram, not so much on my YouTube. So like Instagram wise, I'm doing good. Like I released a video yesterday, a reel, and in like 2 hours it had like 20,000 views. So I'm like, what? But the algorithm is wild sometimes. But yeah,
I'm the thing. Get the numbers on the tube.
Yes, we need the numbers on the tube. So firstly, my degrees in journalism. I've been like radio presenting when I was 16 on pirate radio stations and jumping from one to the next.
Saying nothing about that. We used to own Mission FM.
I did right in the beginning.
Yeah, no, but I know you did, but yeah, you never said nothing about no pirate. You said this, you never said nothing about no pirate thing.
Yeah. I used to DJ.
What
are you talking about?
You never said pirate. You just said, yeah, I've done this. He's above board. What pirate stations did you work for?
I worked for Juice FM in Bush for a few years. Did Break FM, some online one called Invincible.
You like it?
Yes, I told you, the mic's my home. Like I feel I'm at home whenever I'm near a mic, so it's cool for me. For me, I enjoy talking. I realize when people talk to me, they're like, Heba, you always like, oh, please hold the line.
Sorry.
Trying to ruin my soundbite.
Sorry, no, 1 minute. Sorry. Hello. Gans, you're on air with me. I'm on a live filming with Heba, the wizards behind the station. This is one of the sponsors phoning, so we've got him on live. So you're on the camera. You better say something.
Live.
You're live.
Just for me. Bye.
He said bye. You're a wanker. I phone Gans. I phone you afterwards, Gans.
Nice one.
Yeah, love, bro. Hey, say hello to my people, man. Say hello. Bless everyone.
Hello.
Yo.
Come on, Ganzino. All right, later. Love, bro. Above, you were live, bro. You're on the show, bro. No, cut. You're a joker, but fucking cut. You can't cut. I'll see you later. Cut the phone off. So Heba, I'm so sorry.
It's all right, man.
You'll meet him because what we're going to do, yeah? We're going to get you to come to the 100th episode. He's a marketing wizard.
Wicked.
So you'll meet him.
Yeah, sounds
You'll meet
good.
him. That's what I said. That was one of our sponsors. He's a marketing wizard. Mate, you'll meet him. Gans. We call him Gans.
Wicked. I'm down.
Yeah. So we talk about pirate radio station.
Yeah. So basically, people would always say to me, like, when you talk, you always like have wisdom in what you say, and like I like the way you word things, and it really resonates with me. And I'm like, okay, what? So I started doing like online rants. I started doing stuff on my story, on Snapchat, whatever. And people are like, why don't you have your own channel? But I didn't like really believe in my source. I'm like, nah, that's cool. I don't want to do this. And then I started doing a podcast with a set of friends, and then they stopped it. So I had to stop it because it wasn't my production. Mm-hmm. Then I went on to another podcast, and same thing happened again.
Stopped again, yeah?
But it wasn't because of me. I was very consistent. But everyone's like, hey, but you know, a lot of people watch this because of you. Like, why are you not doing this? So then I created Growing Up British. After my dad passed away, it kind of gave me a humbling moment of like, life is short. Eesh. Yeah. So like, if you're not going to do it now, when you're going to do it?
Yes.
And like, you need to just get on with it because I don't want to live with any regrets. Yeah. So then I did it, but I couldn't do it alone yet. I had like 2 other people with me, but then it was still kind of predominantly me. And then the 3rd season, I'm like, let me just do this alone. Let me just like unpack with people on a 1-to-1 and really get deep with it. Because when you have a number of people next to you, you can't really dissect as much. Yeah. And it's just like you can't really land a lot of wisdom and gems on a pod when you have other people trying to do the same and they're fighting for the mic, even if it's not like consciously. So I just thought, you know what, Hebz, we're taking a risk. We're going to do this and we're going to do it by ourselves. So here I am.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. I can't wait to come on to your podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, 100%.
I'll come on there and then we get things popping and cracking and popping.
Yeah, but I won't be having 100 tabs like you open. It'll be like 2 tabs.
What's that?
Because we've spoken about a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
Like we be jumping from tabs, and I'm like,
Yeah. I don't even have.
Yeah.
Tabs. I
just pen and paper.
Yeah, just talk. No, do you know what? I wrote 2 things in my book. Do you know what? Furthermore, now you mention it.
Uh-oh.
All right, what's Heba, Sister Heba? Heba!
I've never had anyone call me Heba, let alone Sister Heba on the pod.
Sister
So let's run with
Heba! You're my sister right now. Hey, name's Heba.
I appreciate
That's what
you.
we're going to call you.
Yes, I
Ayo
am.
Fawole Life Talks podcast.
Where'd you get Mother Heba from?
Mama Hebz.
Mama Hebz. I've been
Because I'm a mother and I come with a lot of wisdom. So people are like, nah, you're proper motherly, aren't you? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't identify. People had to highlight like my characters and like my characteristics and my strengths to me, because my self-doubt voice is strong at times. So I had to just embrace this. Mama Hebz, isn't it?
Mama Hebz. Mama Hebz. Mama Hebz. Mama Hebz.
Mama Hebz.
What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Best advice that's been given to me. I don't know, there's nothing, it's just general.
Mama Hebz. Mama Hebz.
Ask me again, innit?
Tell me something about you no one knows.
How am I going to tell people my truth? Nah.
You better give me something. You're going to answer. I'm going to give you one more question. You can say
Wait.
It doesn't have to be horrible and not true. It could be like, I cut my toenails twice a week. I don't know. Something no one knows. I wish I actually walked back in the door. I would ask him to tell me something.
Allow me to think.
Can you sing or rap?
Nah, but low-key, I should have been a rapper, comedian, the works. Like, I'm a jack of all trades. Like, literally, I'll be in the house spitting bars to my husband. He's like, are you right? And I'll be like, listen, I should have been a gangster rapper. And I'm funny naturally. And people are like, well, I haven't done stand-up. I'm like, I laugh at my own jokes. I don't need no one else to laugh. I'm good. I'm special.
All right. What's your biggest inspiration?
In my adult life, I'm my son.
Okay.
My son, he's made me put on a scarf. He's made me feel resilient. And
what's your favourite quote?
Life is a beautiful struggle.
Life is a beautiful struggle.
Yeah.
Finally, we're getting somewhere. What's the worst advice you've ever been given?
Leave him and
leave him
and get child support. Run him dry. and that was from someone close to him. Nah, that's where I knew it was dead advice. I was like,
too close to the person who said he needs to leave.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Listen, know the people that surround you, people.
Yeah.
Know the people that surround you. Don't know your people, man. You in big trouble, man.
The difference between, the only reason why it didn't become actual advice I took on board, because I had to like really stop for a second going, so you're saying it about that person who's related to you. Something doesn't seem right.
Related as well.
It didn't seem right. So I just had to fall back from that advice and just throw it in a bin.
Are gonna hate.
Haters.
Careful now.
You need to cut that one out. I just got with
the haters hit the mic.
Listen, it's Juju magic in this building. Haters will always hate, and that's that. And people don't want to see you shine. They want you to shine, but not bigger than them, not brighter than them, which is sad.
They're not people.
They're haters.
Yeah, they don't want to see you shine. They're not people. What's your advice to your younger self?
Ooh, that's a question I have for my podcast.
You should be able to answer it, shouldn't you, darling?
So the biggest advice is not to rush through life. Like, we have this constant need to run and get older and older and older. Like, we're trying to race through life. We want to be teenagers. We want to be adults. We want to gain our respect and authority. And, we're just rushing. We're eager.
Not enjoying it.
Not really embracing it and going, I'm actually cool being a teenager. I'm okay being a 6-year-old. I'm like, no, but I want to be like the 12-year-old kid. But I think that's something we can never really learn for ourselves. Like, it's something we can't, there's a lot of advice that we can learn from others. But I think this one bit of advice is something that we actually can never. Slowing down is so necessary, because we get to a certain age and you're like, actually, no, I'm good. I don't want to age anymore. Can we take it back a bit? Can we just pull up like 10 years? Literally. Can we? And also, like, believe in yourself. Don't wait for people to validate you. I think this self-validation is, you need to really believe in your own source. And I think the lack of faith that I had in myself and listening to other people who maybe hating, like, Hebz, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm just like, maybe I can't. That set me back. It set me back in so many ways. And it's such a shame, because now I'm my grownish self and I'm like, I wish I was this confident back then.
So you got it now, don't worry about it.
But that's it. But then I got to believe in God's timing. This was the perfect time for me to do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Even when I look at my husband, I'm like, yo, I can't believe I spent my whole life without you. Like this sucks, innit? And he's just like, no, this is God's timing. We needed to go through the growth to get to where we are today, so we can be ready for each other. And I'm like, okay, fine, safe. Yeah, you're right. Two wisdom and that.
A specific time when you feel you found yourself or you found that peace.
Where I found myself is when I left my ex-husband. I lost myself in my marriage. In my first marriage, I really lost myself in my first marriage. I had no identity. My career stopped. My ambition stopped. It was very draining and exhausting trying to fix someone or build someone, or like work on a marriage by yourself. Trying to like always defend yourself all the time and always trying to tiptoe around someone. It's exhausting. And I just became someone who, when I say trying to fix someone, I'm not trying to say as in like, it was all about him. It was never like, what did I serve myself? Nothing. Like, what did I, like, I literally was a wife and not a happy wife at all. He brought nothing to the table. And then I became a mother, and the only happiness I saw, what gave me pure fulfillment, was seeing their interaction together. Not how he respected me or looked after me or my bond with my child, because I was still trying to process the premature side of things, but actually just watching their bond was the only bit of happiness I got in my marriage. And so I think I lost my way completely. I had no confidence. I had nothing. I was just like very deflated by the end of it. And when I left it, I built so much strength, and I was forced to be an incredible mum. I was forced to be resilient. I was forced to just keep going. And I built my identity from there, and everyone was like, Hebz is coming back now. I can see you. They can see who I am, but a better version of me. But for a while, don't chat to me. Because I had no patience. I had no nothing.
I've got more questions, but I don't know. I think we passed this question already before. But for any of your sisters that have been waiting to get married, they've been pressured into get married, they've been looking forward to the beautiful union that marriage is, and then find themselves in a marriage that they did not enjoy, and they're not being celebrated, they're being abused because of some of the cultural constraints, like their husbands are not adhering, they're actually using them to their advantage. What advice have you got for them? What do you think? What could we say? Because like every situation is different as well. Like,
yeah, so obviously, like, unfortunately,
it could be a very solitary thing, that isn't it?
Yeah,
like because you're on your own with your husband. If you don't, it's a lot.
It's a lot because you literally are committed to this person, and you've like chosen. You told your family this is your person, so you've already invested. And in order to accept there's a failed marriage is a massive burden. Like, you're like, no. I don't believe in divorce. What are you talking about? We're going to be together. We're going to work it out. But I think firstly, like, unfortunately, dumb people or like
young people,
dumb people, ignorant people, whether it's men or women, they abuse relationships when they see someone's weakness or someone's kindness or whatever it is. They'll abuse it regardless of your faith or where you're from. But I think what I'll say is, let's not be naive and fall in love with the concept of marriage or the freedom of marriage, thinking that when I get married, this is going to open opportunities. Because pull up. Let's not fall in love with the concept of marriage and be naive about it.
Yeah, let's not be dumb about marriage.
Yeah, let's not. Because a lot of women want the wedding. They don't want the responsibility. They don't understand the depth of marriage, the values of marriage. They just want a ring. They want to have a photo to show their friends. They want to live in this thing and think it's going to work out. It's going to be patterned naturally. But it's a constant, like, companionship. It's a partnership that's continuously evolving, and you're going to face days where you're going to, I want to jab you in the throat, but you've got to be able to speak to each other about it and be able to go, all right, cool, what's the purpose, marriage, But I think if you reach a point, why are you laughing for?
Look how you thought something.
Huh?
I just thought something.
Oh Lord, it's good.
I want to hear it.
Good.
Let me finish chocolate in my mouth first. You too, you said, like I said,
eating more chocolate, you know.
Energy to your husband, because you got energy all around.
You're preparing, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going.
Marriage is a pilgrimage. It's not a party.
But that's true.
No, but I just made that up. No, I never heard that before.
Copyright.
Have you heard that before? Have you?
Trademark it.
No, because you remember saying, because they just want the wedding and the this and the marriage is a pilgrimage.
But it is.
It's not a party. Okay.
But then that's the issue. So the rookie move was
a blessing pilgrimage. It's like going to Mecca. You get blessings, but it's not a one-day party. Just remember that. Go on.
No, that's cool. But a lot of people jump into the idea of marriage and they're so naive about it Like they got blinders on. It's just like, bro, like marriage isn't like this. So you're expecting this perfect thing, and then you get married, and then that lens is shattered. You now realize that you got to bring more to the table. It's not going to be that hunky dory and what we got to talk through. We got to grow. We got to evolve. Wait, hold on.
My husband to do this.
Yeah. Like, why are you not providing? And then even some men don't understand their position in their role in a marriage. Yeah. Like a lot of people need to really strip back and understand the purpose of marriage. Because the minute you get it, what companionship is that you literally are equals to each other. That you literally balance each other out in different ways. I will set myself in different positions when you need me to pull my weight, and vice versa. We have each other's back. There's no, well, that's your duty. Why should I do it as a woman? This is, girl, relax. Because there'll be days where I got to do your duties, because we got to be able to like compensate for what you're lacking in that moment, rather than put pressure on you. I need to alleviate that pressure. And I think when people don't understand what marriage is and the intricacy of it, they start thinking, this marriage is crap. And we live in a time where social media has made you feel that you can find any person at any time. Everyone's replaceable. Let's not work on our problem. Let's just leave him and go on to the next. So that mindset, scrap it. But if you are in a marriage and it's truly something that's damaging your self-esteem, your mental, your physical, and you feel trapped, don't worry about the stigma. Do what you can to either work on the marriage. So I did marriage counselling, family intervention. I didn't believe in divorce. I thought I was going to be a rider for life. So I did everything within my means to hold down the marriage. But when I realised it requires two people to want to make the marriage work, it can't be one person trying to like sail the ship. Eventually you'll get tired. And when you get tired, that's when everything stops. So I kind of accepted defeat and I said, you know what? I'll take the L. My marriage failed. I felt embarrassed about other people. I felt embarrassed about myself. The fact that I wasn't able to achieve that, because I knew my values and I knew who I was as a woman, and I still failed at that. But then I had to let go of my ego and let go of that stuff and go, do you know what? Sometimes you just need to leave something that no longer serves you. Not in a materialistic way, not on a social media way, what social media is trying to feed you, the narrative of what men should be, what women should be. 2022 feminism is a mother trucker. I don't believe in that nonsense. So like when you really strip back to traditional values, when you no longer serve each other and no one's filling anyone else's cup and you're filling one person's cup and you're dehydrating in the corner, sometimes you got to call it a day. You're laughing at feminism thing, innit?
Yeah, I'm laughing at the dehydration line.
Okay, but it's true.
One person's cup and you're not filling yours, you're dehydrating.
But you're dehydrating. Like imagine I'm constantly filling up your cup and you're going safe. But I'm here dying. You're not giving me nothing back. Yeah. I'm out. And it's not I'm out like this. I have a child to consider. I'm about to break up a home and be another statistic. But don't be afraid to leave something. So my friend gave me a quote, which is actually on my socials right now, which is don't repeat a mistake. Don't stay with a mistake because you spent a long time repeating it.
I saw it. That black girl in the jumpsuit.
Yeah. And it's true. We're all guilty of that. Whether it's being stuck in a job that you don't like, whether it's being in a toxic relationship.
Who was that?
Christy, my friend.
What she do?
She's another podcaster.
Okay.
What are you trying to say?
Not trying to say anything. I was just asking. Me, I'm a celibate. That's for the record for everyone. I'm celibate and I'm happy and I'm at peace right now. So
good for you, man.
Yeah, I'm at peace right now. I'm not looking for anything except for God's blessing.
But what I'll just finish with is like, don't assume it's the end of the world. Like I felt like, firstly, no one's gonna ever want me because this person filled my mind of self-doubt and self-love. Like, good luck trying to find someone that will tolerate you, kind of thing. And I'm like, safe. Like it was a very nice.
So Wash, I hate it. I've been through shit. People, if you know my story, I've been through stuff. When I come on your show, we'll break it down.
Unpack, yeah.
But yeah, they try and brainwash you, don't they?
Yeah. But when you're in that environment for so long, 10 years, you start actually believing if that's the only adult life experience you have. You start believing, wow, this is the truth. This is the truth. Like I can't leave. And the minute I left, now when I look back, the last 5 years of looking back, I laugh. And I can't even recognize myself. And it shows you that genuinely letting go is not the end of the world. And actually you look back and go, rah, I really stayed for that long. Yeah, like, I don't even see how we even found each other. Like,
I think that's one of the things. Being aware of the right time to do it is very important. But that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing you lose in these things is time.
That's it. But I have to just accept that time that I had to go through has made me into who I am today. I'll be resentful. I'll be disgruntled.
Definitely.
And I don't hate anything or anyone.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to hold that energy in myself. But I think a lot of people stay in a situation because they fear what other people are going to say.
Yeah.
Will I find something else? Like, you don't have to leave something to go into something else. Maybe just go into finding who you are and building your strength, and then you're ready for someone else. And you'll attract that energy by default.
Take the time.
That's it. Take time with it.
Take the time.
I'd rather take time and be alone than be in that same situation and be so unhappy.
Yeah.
Because all I've done is destroyed my soul a little bit more.
Yeah.
We need to have a bit of vulnerability and naiveness. Like, having naivety is a beautiful thing. Like, when people, the reason why in Islam you shouldn't really be dating, it's not just about sex. It's about, because we're exchanging energy all the time, even on a mental and a spiritual, we take on different baggages and insecurities. So if you've cheated on me while we're getting to know each other, I now have insecurities about myself. I'm now going to carry that insecurity into someone else. And then they're going to give me another issue and another issue. And when I find my person, I'm just a broken person. If I've not spent time to heal, when we finally find that person, that lens of love, that lens of vulnerability is gone. You're risk assessing all the time. You're like, nah, he's going to cheat me anyway. But it's true though. So the reason why you shouldn't date so much or whatever is because you actually reserve your energy, reserve the fact that you still believe in love and in loyalty and commitments, and don't let so many people in that when you finally find that person, you can actually push them away because you don't know how to receive the love and you don't know how to love them because you've never been exposed to that. You've just seen so much negativity. So I respect some people go, I'd rather not date. You're protecting your energy.
Yeah.
So
I'm a bit off key, but I just saw that as like there being a play and you going and watching a bit of it through the window and then going home, and then watching the end of it through the window and then going home, and then watching the middle through the window and then going home, rather than just waiting until you can get the ticket to sit down and watch the whole play in its entirety.
I mean,
that's what you just said. That's what makes me think like everyone just watch 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. No, wait and go and sit down and watch the whole thing. Just enjoy it for what it is. Sit down, have your popcorn or whatever, and sit down and actually watch it rather than stealing.
But I think naturally when we're younger, we just want to date because it's like, okay, everyone else is doing it. We need to socially fit in. Yeah. It's trending. Like the man them are like, so how many numbers you got today? And the girls are like, so who is he? He's the guy. Da, da, da. So there's this.
It's hormones, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
come on,
it's normal. That's normal. But then I understand why we should like trying to hold back a little bit because there's dating and there's dating purposefully.
Bam, because we're going to get into this because I don't know how much time we've got left yet. Yeah?
We ain't got time, but let's continue, sir.
I had more questions, but because we just said it right now, because it makes you laugh as well. So, alcohol, drugs.
You're really losing me as a Muslim's key spoken person.
Yeah, because I might as well. We're going to get Ansu.
You know Ansu's like the Quran.
Ansu's my brother. I've known him for years. But I have to ask you because you're...
He's verging on scholar. I'm just...
I know, but you're
Hebz.
a woman. And I will ask Ansu this stuff as well. But me, because I'm going to fuck with Ansu about film. Because we're both acting and I love to about film. So I'm half Islam, half film. You don't make me forget my question.
Alcohol, drugs, prostitution.
Sex before marriage, prostitution. Woo, woo, woo. Violence, abuse. I have to say...
Where are we going with this?
I have to say, no. Things are haram for a reason.
100%.
They're haram for a reason.
And the minute you get that, the minute everything's calm.
That's what I'm saying to you because it's like, how many times I've been out and I see man on drugs, on alcohol,
doing the mad thing.
Sleeping with someone they shouldn't have slept with before they should have slept with them.
Yeah.
And it's problems.
Yeah.
And it's problems. So people enjoy stuff. Yeah, you enjoy it. But on a greater scheme of things, and I'm going to let you drop. Remember that guy last time we had here? And he goes to a wedding, it's the Muslim wedding, it's good all the way through. Goes to a normal wedding, it's all right until 6, and then everyone's energy changes. Everyone's energy changes because the alcohol's introduced. So let's talk about that. Certain things are haram for a reason, and when you understand, it's like it's for your greater good, isn't it?
That's the thing. So people go, oh yeah, like a lot of people choose not to adhere to one faith because they don't want to be put down with rules. They want to be held down with rules. Like, what do you mean I can't drink? What do you mean I can't do nothing? It's like when you understand the wisdom behind it, you be like, do you know what? I grew up, I never drank. And like, but the reason why is because I understood, I got it, and I watched it. So my brother used to DJ, I used to DJ. We go to a club, right? Everything's nice and cushy. A few drinks in, you're watching people. it's deteriorating. The night's deteriorating. People getting a bit too familiar, a bit too gripsy. Then there's a fight outside. Then it's the girl who's been inappropriately touched and she's telling him to stop, but because everyone's off their head or ego driven, whatever it is. But I assess the situation. I'm like, I get it. Why would I even want that inside me? And I'm not trying to judge anyone for what they do. Like, we're all humans. We do what we're doing, innit? And it's between you and God. And I feel no way.
It's a joke, sister. Sister Heba, it's a joke. You know, it's a joke.
Why?
Because how many people that are not even interested in religion wake up in the morning and go, oh, what did I do? Oh, why did I do that? Oh,
and the line is, I wish I never drink again.
Do you know?
But you have Muslims that do it as well. We're all flawed. Yeah.
Irrespective of whether you understand the levels of thing in the faith, whatever, the people who have got nothing to do with it, do it and then regret doing it the next day, or do it and then complain about it. So what is that you're gonna? Do you know what I mean? I've done it and complained about it.
But that's what happens, though. That's normal. But as humans, we're flawed. We go back to what we know, and we know, like, for example, some people drink because they need to have that confidence. Like when they step into a place, like they're going to be a bit timid until they have a couple of drinks.
To find that confidence. That's. I'll say that they don't need to. They've got it, but it's not the place they know where to find it.
Precisely, because they've conformed to that concept. That a couple of drinks, man, she's cool, man, she's lit, and it's just like, but she needs to be. Like people go, so what do you do to enjoy yourself? I'm high on my own supply of life. I'm blessed.
I'm high on my own supply.
But for real, but it's like, the minute people understand, like faith, scientifically proven, like when it comes to alcohol, when it comes to drugs, anything that stops you from being your true self, should not be in, like, you just don't come near it.
Well, Chef, what kind of music you like listening to?
What?
Your favourite music?
Music Soul Child is my ultimate artist.
Music Soul Child.
He's my old school artist forever. But I'm a soulful R&B. I used to be a gangster rapper by default. Like, I thought I was hood.
How do you see the world?
My husband will tell you that I see the world in a very negative way, but it's my raw lens that I see it in. So I'm constantly like mindful that this world is messed.
It's a mess.
It's got beautiful things about it, but there's such ugly things that just overtake the beauty in it constantly. And it's just getting worse after generation after generation. It's just like, where are we going with this? Like, when is it going to be the beauty of even childhood? Childhood's being ripped away. Kids are moving like 6, moving on 16 because of social media. Everything's just turning weird. And that's what I'm trying to make sure my son...
Do you think a normal child would survive in this world? As in, do you think a 6-year-old Heba would have survived this?
I'll conform to this world, and God knows how that would have looked like. God knows. Because my family there's a lot of mothers that try their best, but your child is in someone else's environment for 80% of the day.
Yeah.
So you can instill so much foundation, all this God-fearing talk, all this love, and they go out and hang out with some dutty who just whispers.
They might be the dutty who wants
They could be the dutty. Yeah.
You don't know these kids, right?
100%. And it's mad. It's mad, but it's real. So I'm constantly worrying about my son. I'm like, cool, we're in year 3 right now. We've got a few more years.
Yeah.
But then I have to stress about secondary school.
You can't do nothing about it though. You know that, innit?
I'm sitting with Tricky on Thursday. We're going to talk about this.
Who?
Tricky. I don't know. Yeah, I'll send you his stuff anyway. Okay. But he speaks a lot about
do you know
young
Tricky?
boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's Tricky?
We used to do podcast for the culture.
For the culture podcast.
Yeah. We done podcasts.
Worked with him, yeah?
Yeah, he's big.
We've seen him as well.
But I've done stuff with him as well. So we're gonna break it down, and I want to talk about raising young boys in London, basically, and the fears, and like how do you get them ready for the real world? Because like I'm stressing about. I wanted to move to Dubai, and then I met this one. He's like, I can't go to Dubai. I'm like, boy, because I don't want my son to be raised there. Like, what my son at any point, like the chances of him being killed in the streets are so high, just by being a young black boy. It's mad, and I can't live with this anxiety all the time.
I don't know what to do. I don't know.
It's hard, but this generation are wild. They're like,
no, but
I don't know if you saw what happened in Croydon the other day, like a few months ago. Some kids, school kids, uniform, got out like a knife and started stabbing up some lady in the street. Because a passerby, because they were arguing with her, and then one girl started fighting with her. So the woman, I think, must have like tried to fight back or something. Some other boy went to his bag, grabs that knife, drops to the floor. Public, high street. The woman drops to the floor. And while
on the floor.
yeah. And I'm like, y'all have no boundaries. They're rushing people in the street. And I'm just like, I feel bad for these parents. Are they young parents that they didn't get to build any foundations? Are these kids in care? I don't understand. How is it that you guys are cool, so in daylight, no shame, no nothing, no fear? Like, they don't respect themselves. They don't care about themselves anymore. There's something wrong in this generation. It scares me.
There's something wrong in the world, though, isn't there? But, I mean, it's a lot for me, Heba, as well, because I can't understand it. But then you got these young parents who are not taking care of their kids. But then you got, like, I spoke with the person last time, stuff like Grand Theft Auto and certain other things.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like, I played that game years ago when it was, I don't know, Grand San Andreas, whatever.
Yeah, that was years ago.
I used to play it, and then I'd be out on the road and I could see myself ripping people out of cars or nicking bikes. Like, just visualising the game, because I played so many hours of the game.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch stuff as a young person with such a soft, susceptible mind.
Yeah. But that's what we have. But it's not just games anymore. You're watching real stuff happening on social media. It's desensitizing.
And in the films, the social media,
everything. There's no barriers. There's no boundaries. There's nothing. There's no filter.
And
so these kids are being exposed, overly exposed. So before, like, there's kids who do shootouts in schools in America because they played hella games in school, like computer games, and now they're like driven by this game and they want to relive it, and they want to commit suicide or whatever it is their agenda was. Yeah. Now they've just seen another kid in another school do something, and this is like raw. But do they rate him? Do they feel some kind of way? Sadly, no one's feeling.
No one's one up people, innit?
Yeah, but no one's feeling like, raw. That's a bit raw. People laugh at these things. Yeah. But when I say people, the younger generation, and I'm just praying to God something changes and it stops, because my son's not going to be raised in this environment.
Your son will be fine.
I pray to God he is. Will be fine. No, I pray to God he is.
You pray that son will be fine. Mac,
yes.
Sorry, Wizard. Have you got any more questions for this lovely young lady?
I appreciate the young. Thank you.
You're young, man. You're younger than me. Because we're going to wrap up now. We're going to get up. We're going to get.
All right, Grandad.
We're going to get to. Yeah, no.
And Sumana.
Have you got anything you want to say before we close up, Hebz?
Just thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's been insightful. It's been educational.
Really?
Yeah. And when I watch it back, I'm gonna have learned some stuff.
You know what you're gonna say? You're gonna be like, "Wow, we never quite finished that point." You know, she started it, and then we kind of went left a little bit.
No, that's how we talk. That's how we talk here, and it's just like it's more to ignite other conversations.
Yeah, conversations.
I want to get more to know, because for me, okay, look, you're a mother, you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're a wife,
and a divorcee.
You're a divorcee, but we don't worry about that.
But that's part of the journey.
Yeah,
that's part of the journey.
We don't worry about that, because you're a friend. I wanna talk about all the positives, because life is a mixture of yin and yang, good and bad. I want to talk about all the positives that I've got from you. You're a sister. You're Mama Heba. You've gone through a lot, and you're a rock for your family. Since I'm saying you're a rock for your family. You're embarking on this lovely new partnership with
yeah.
And life is beautiful and it's good. And you're the CEO, the creator of
Growing Up British.
You know what I mean? And that's like, the sky's the limit with that. I can't wait to come on your show as well.
Can't wait to have you.
And talk about what it was for me and what it's like for me growing up British.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, don't worry.
We can unpack. We can unpack.
And yeah, this is life.
Thank you for having me, honestly. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Sister Heba.
I appreciate you. I was going to do free slaps. Give me the full energy.
Yeah.
She's ready.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. In the house.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Hey, wait. You know, this is let me just plug this. Love Life Family Clothing.
Yeah.
My guy.
I need one.
Brixton based.
I need one.
Yeah, we're gonna get some. You got jumpers, hats.
I need a hoodie.
Yeah, you got hoodies, you got everything. Got some nice pieces.
I'll promo good.
Love Life Family Clothing.
Sick.
What's it saying?
Hob, love.
There you go.
It says love. Hob is the Arabic word, and love is the translation.
There you go. Woo! Come on.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, sis.